Oh, it's Friday, man. It is Friday. Welcome in, everybody. Derek Gunn,
Friday.
Rob Ellis, Friday, as we say.
Friday.
Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. What's up, fellas? How we making out? We good?
What's going on, man? No. I usually look forward to Fridays. I'm not looking forward to today.
Why is that? I can't recall. I can't seem to.
Well, happened? People in the chat room already remember. This is,
Do the only reason remind people.
Yeah, go ahead and remind them.
Okay, so yesterday we promised if we got to 200 likes, not only would we have Derek Gunn do the Minnesota Vikings skull chant, but we were going to bring on his brother Marvin, the best looking gun, hands down. In the okay, some would say the most talented, the best looking. There he is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Marv, what's up, bro?
What's up, my brothers? How are you?
Good, man. Good. Asking
you
shall receive. We promised Marvin Gunn, and Marv, I got to tell you, man, Derek is out of sorts. You're in his head, man. You're rent free.
Oh, yeah.
This is
just like the Vikings will be in the Packers' heads this year. Exactly.
Ouch. So we got over our limit yesterday, Marvin. We got the 200 likes. So we said, all right, we got to deliver, man. We got to deliver Marvin, because we know you like to needle your brother Derek. We know that, and we like that.
Oh yes, his whole life.
Oh
yes.
I needle him. Is that what he tells you guys?
What he claims.
Yes. There's this thing called one side of the story. That's what you guys are getting. Okay. Let's open up the playbook today.
Right. Oh no,
yes,
no
more.
No.
I know you personally. I've been fishing with you before, and I heard all the skeletons come. Well, most of the skeletons come out.
Hear nothing.
Didn't want me to.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna hear him today then.
No, you're not.
That's right.
No.
How he used to beat me when I was little.
Wait.
Locked me in closets and stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. We're live. Oh, never mind.
That's your outdoor voice.
You got people believing this stuff, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, hold on.
See what I mean?
He kept emphasizing the real Derek. That's all I remember. You guys don't know the real Derek yet.
Right.
You have to show the real.
Mean?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. The real Derek.
Yeah. You guys think he's some kind of nice guy, huh? Is that what it is?
That's how he comes off. That's how he comes off.
This should tell you something. I've seen interviews with him and Brandon Brooks. Does that say anything?
Right. See.
All right. See. So
you mean Brandon Graham? Brandon
Graham. I'm sorry, Brandon Graham.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Graham.
I'm not an Eagles fan, but I try to support my brother. I support him.
Well, I got to figure this out. You guys grew up in Wisconsin, and Derek is a Packer fan. But how did you? This would be like akin to being like a Giant or Washington fan or Dallas fan in the Philadelphia area. How did you become a Viking fan?
Well, see, my brother won't listen to me, but when I was in Milwaukee, I didn't watch sports. I played them, and then I was musicianing. So I wasn't really into it. I think I went to a Packer game when I was really, really little, I think.
Yeah.
But, when I got to Minnesota, I ran into all these sports fans. I started hanging out with Viking fans, and I started watching them. And when I was doing music, Denny Green had a show, and my friends were the band for his show. So when Denny Green won, he had it was his thing to play the drums on his show, on his talk show.
Okay.
So eventually I went on the show. I got to know Denny Green, and then he came out to later on he came out to Phoenix. But long story short, I started liking the Vikings, a lot because of the people I hung around, and then they started making me watch football, going to football parties, and I just became a Viking fan.
Okay.
Why don't you tell the truth? Why don't you tell the truth?
For that? Yeah.
What did Derek tell you? See,
he only became a Vikings fan because he married a girl from Minneapolis. That's the only reason.
No, I didn't know Wendy.
You did.
But the funny thing is, me and my wife ran in the same circles ever since I got up here and never met her once.
Really?
Her best friend was dating my roommate, and I never met her. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
I love her a lot more than I love you right now.
Yeah. I know. I'm surprised they let you go on this show. Even Barrett. I mean, he's such a nice guy. Why do you hang out with D Gun?
We feel sorry for him, Barvin. You know what I mean?
And he's gotten me into so much trouble. So much trouble, man.
Oh, I bet.
Really, Barrett? Really?
He's got me into so much trouble, man.
All right, you guys enjoy this moment because it's never happening again. So enjoy this moment.
Oh yeah.
He'll tell you about the time. He started this thing. I'm at work, and we were supposed to get fed dinner, and we didn't get fed dinner.
Goodness.
And then he excited the whole thing. He got me going. He just threw gasoline on the fire, just getting me going, laughing and everything. He did that.
Laughing at a man while he's hungry.
See, you can't do that, right? So that's what I'm saying.
Man. Oh man.
All right, we need Marv. What was it like growing up with Derek? We need some
No, hold on.
Yes.
Yes. I was thinking about this earlier. So, and we're a few years apart. So I was really the little guy trying to run with his big brother all the time. And he would just take off and not let me know about it. So he just leave me behind. Until I got older, I got a little faster. I started keeping up with him. And when he would go out the door, I'd be on the bike next to him already. So he wouldn't take me anywhere. I always wanted to hang around him. You know how that is. And then when my parents left the house, it was like when you have cats and dogs and you leave the house. I had a friend like this. He left the house. He said every time I come home, the place is torn up. So one day he left. And he had 4 cats and 2 dogs, and he left, but he stayed in the garage, and he heard things breaking, cats screaming, and that's how Derek was. When my parents left, he'd be chasing me around the house.
Oh man,
but that's not true. That is not true.
Yeah,
that is so not true.
I had like knots on my heads all the time.
I can believe that, man. I can believe that.
Not true.
Wow.
But the thing is, I was a little brother, so I did kind of admire him. Derek was. One thing I hated about him, he was good at every sport he played. So I just hated that.
Oh, he was. I thought he was just lying, man. I thought he was lying, man.
He was good. He went to college for one sport. He became a starter in another sport. I mean, he was, and I was glad he left home when he went to college. That was,
you got his room. Did you get his room? What happened?
Of course, I got his room. First, I threw all his stuff away,
nice.
and said that there was an earthquake and it was damaged. And then I put all my stuff in there. So I got the big bed and everything.
Nice. That's fun. Smart move. Now, listen, Marv, you have an unbelievable background yourself. Derek was telling you ended up in Minnesota. Obviously, became a Vikings fan, but you were in that whole music scene in the '80s with Prince and The Time, and countless others, Sheila E., etc. So tell us a little bit of that background.
Yeah, well, imagine, being a kid and like, man, I want to grow up and be just like this guy one day. Or I want to meet this guy. And what's weird about it is the reason me and my buddy went to Minnesota, we were musicians, of course, around Milwaukee. We wanted to, we heard how the music scene was popping up there, and we wanted to go meet Prince. So we went to when Prince and The Time played in Chicago. We tried to go there. We tried to see the show, but typical musicians. We got there after the concert, and so my buddy decided let's go find the hotel where the band is staying at. So we ended up hanging out with The Time. And what made me move to Minnesota was talking to Terry Lewis. Terry Lewis,
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Terry Lewis looked at me and my buddy Tony Christian. He said, "I want to do something with you guys." I swear, we packed up within a week. We moved to Minnesota.
Wow.
Never saw Terry Lewis again. Never saw Terry Lewis. But my buddy ran into Prince's bass player, Mark Brown, on the street. And he just happened to be putting a band together called Maserati. And it was weird because first Maserati lost his guitar player. So my buddy stepped in as a guitar player. Then they lost a keyboard player. And he said, "I got a buddy up here from Milwaukee." And once I got in the band, that was it. It was like the last piece of the puzzle, and we were off and running. And first of all, Prince would joke about, "Man, I want to be in the band. I want this to be my band, Maserati." And eventually he said, "Well, if it can't be my band, I'm going to make it the first band I signed to Paisley Park Records." So,
why?
Although I was only like 10 years old, I was part of the first band.
10. Okay, 10.
I was really young.
Right.
Yeah.
That is awesome,
really
though.
young.
What was Prince like, man? Obviously, gone too soon. But what was he like?
Well, he was always good to me. I mean, you hear stories about Prince, and how he treated people, but you know, the band would get mad because he was always easy with me, light with me, and he would get on them when they messed up. And you know, it was just good to hang around him, especially when we did the album, because we went out to a few band members went out to California to work on the album. So now I'm hanging out in the studio with him. And that's one of the times when he brought over Kiss, and you know, there's another history behind Kiss, but I was a major part of that song.
You played on the song Kiss?
I played and sang on it, yeah.
Oh wow.
So actually I was the original lead vocalist because it was a Maserati song. And when we finished it, Prince said, you know, I'm taking it back. And he wiped out my vocals, which was good. I did a 5 a.m. vocal, lead vocal. And it became history. And he fought with the record company. It's a rare song that does not have a bass instrument on it. And Warner Brothers didn't want to release it. I think that was kind of leading up to his Slave days, where he became the artist known as. And the rest is history. It's my Grammy-winning single. So I was extremely happy.
That's awesome.
Amazing, man. That is amazing, man. Amazing, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Every time I go to grocery stores, a mall, I also hear what's her name? Paula Abdul's song,
Abdul.
Opposite of the Track.
Is that you too?
And because I know his voice so well, he did the duet with Paula Abdul on Opposites of Track.
Yeah.
Wow.
Turned me into a cat. Turned me into a cat, y'all.
Yeah. So you're the talented one in the family then.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew
hey, you know. Hey. And you know what? And you know what? Here's what I always wanted to say to the public. My ribs are better than Derek's ribs.
No, that's not true.
No
way.
Yeah.
See,
I got Derek on that one.
That's a zing, man. That's serious. That's
anybody who does ribs, anybody who does ribs in a crock pot or the oven, your ribs can't touch my ribs. Now your ribs are tender. I'll give you that.
When you boil ribs, you don't boil ribs. You got to grill them. And you gotta savor them. You gotta let them saute. You don't just boil them and put some salt on them and throw them out there. I mean,
all right.
Yeah, we'll have a contest one day.
Well, no, there will be no contest.
Yeah, we'll have a contest.
It's like Green Bay against the Vikings. Green Bay always wins. When your ribs go against my ribs will always win.
Now, see, I gotta stop you there. Green Bay does not always win. And I talk to people about saying that word always. You got to be careful. But this year, we're going to be talking a lot this year, bro.
You say that every year.
Yeah, but this one is.
What was their record last year?
That's something really special.
What was their record last year?
I think they were 9-8.
No, 8-9. Let's try 8-9.
Man, I can't remember last year. Who cares about last year? Come on. Where were you last year?
That's awesome.
Come on.
So all I know is this. How is it always Derek gets to do things? He can outfish me. He can outgrill me. Do you go through the same thing all the time with them all? Like,
first of all, outfishing. Who did he outfish you?
Right. He says he's outfish. I won the competition, but he still outfished me.
See. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, let's put it like this. This weekend or this week, Derek went to a pond to fish. For guppies or something like that.
Right.
I'm going this weekend. I'm going to fish for 3-foot northerns and large, catfish, largemouth bass. So we do different types of fishing. So it's really you can't really compare.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I tell them.
Look at Derek's face.
See, I'm in a flounder tournament tomorrow. I'm in a flounder tournament tomorrow.
Hey, I'm waiting for the fish on his wall to start talking. You know those talking fish?
Yeah. Start singing to you.
Yeah, start singing. Come on,
fish.
Turn it on. Turn it on.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome,
That's
man.
Up,
all right, so you also know, Marv, that part of this was Derek was going to have to do the Minnesota Vikings skull chant, right?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Jeez.
Are you ready, Gunner? Are you ready to
All
right.
with this?
Let me preface it by saying this. Because Rob was such a good sport, Rob ate Cheerios with milk, which is standard in American staples of food, but Mr. Abnormal over here.
Yeah,
and then
I'm weird, Marv. I'm very weird. Yeah.
And then
Honey Nut
yesterday,
Cheerios.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't eat Honey Nut Cheerios. It's just plain dry Cheerios, and then he washes it down with iced tea.
What?
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
I know. I'm weird, man.
And then his favorite peanut butter is Peter Pan, not Jif or Skippy. Peter Pan. So yesterday he went out and got Chunky Skippy because he lost extra chunky because he lost. What was the we needed 150 likes for him to eat extra chunky. We had 189 likes. Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then they threw the gauntlet, 200 likes. I would have to do the Viking skull chant. We got 249 likes. I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me.
Right.
Wow.
So
and just so you know, I'm part of on Facebook, a Viking fan group.
Who cares?
Well, the reason I'm saying that is because I was about to send out a blast message to, but you probably would have got about 2,000.
Oh, come on, man.
I was about to. Then I saw you talking about, the numbers are getting up there. I'm hating this. I'm gonna have to do it. I really hate the Vikings. I wish they were out the league. So that happened, and I was like, when it hit, I think you said 204 or something like that.
It was at 204.
Yep.
Oh man, I was like, I hope they bring me on the show tomorrow. I gotta see this. Does anybody have a Viking hat Derek can just throw on while he does
Derek,
it?
do we have any gear? What do we got
hold on.
Yeah.
You guys keep talking because Rob was a good sport. I have to be a good sport. So I went through now, just to give you real quick. So now my wife used to direct incredible plays, Christmas plays, Easter plays at our church we used to go to. I mean, the place would be packed. She's incredible when it comes to that stuff. So she has a whole collection of costumes and stuff that we still have in our basement. So I knew she had something that I could use. And okay, you guys keep talking. I'm going to live to my end of the agreement. I'll be right back. Right.
Wait a minute.
All
Is he calling something related to the Vikings a costume? Is that what he just said?
Yeah, right.
Because they're a costume team. They're not a real
That'd be-
interview.
I gotta see this.
All right, so he's gonna get while Derek does his quick costume change or whatever we're calling it at this point. So that's awesome, man. So do you guys still perform as Maserati? Or you do your own thing, Mark? How's it work?
I do my own thing. I'm actually signed with a label called Wolf Entertainment out of Germany. Just released my latest single, Why, actually on July 1st. So it's on all streaming platforms, and you can purchase it and buy it. My CD, I'm working on my second CD. So I'm pretty excited. And I do a dual thing. I also do a Bob Marley tribute. I kind of got, I don't want to say sucked into, but I got into years ago and just started loving it.
You got the hair.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing what it is because he goes to different casinos throughout the country and even out of the country with his band and do tributes for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow. I don't know how you're putting headset on.
There we go.
That is unbelievable.
You are,
man. I don't even have that kind of gear.
That is listen. That's above and beyond. That is good work.
Oh, where's my phone?
Yeah, you got to make sure you're getting some of this.
Hey, wait a minute.
My body is itching right now.
That's called a screenshot. Got it.
This is an all-timer right here.
Oh man, I gotta take 3 or 4 more of these.
Yeah, you gotta
just enjoy the savor this moment.
All right. Let me just look for a second. Hold on, guys. Let me just
soak it in, Marvin.
Smile for me real fast.
Wow.
Smile, bro.
Oh, hold on, do it again.
Got it.
All right. So we need it, Gunner. Give us a little skull for your brother Marvin.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Okay. Skull.
Vikings.
Skull.
Championship.
Vikings.
Super Bowl.
Vikings stink.
Beat the Packers. Come on, I'm right with you, bro. I'm right with you. Come on, give me some more. Come on. Woo! I like this.
Here you go.
Oh man.
All right.
I think we needed one more fan on the Vikings bandwagon. I think that just put us in the Super Bowl.
I think that was.
I think it did.
Am I done with this? Am I done?
Yeah, you're done. You're good.
Wait for the rest of the show.
Good try, Marvin. Good try, man.
Screenshot while he's taking it off.
That was look at him. He's all itchy and he can't take it.
Man,
that is great, man.
Wow,
that is great.
That is a cool costume, though.
That is.
I always go to one Viking game a year, and I try to get really, really good seats. And that's when you get really good seats. That's where all the people in those costumes will hang out.
Yeah, man.
Right now, and this year I'm like, I think I'm going to the Bears, and I'll be behind one of the goalposts. I've never been in that area. I'm always trying to get closer and closer to the field. So
okay.
I've seen there's 2 guys that wear purple outfits, and they wear those exact horns.
Yeah,
and they always sit down in that area. So it's going to be fun.
That's awesome. Marv,
that was the most disgusting thing I've ever done.
Yeah, but thanks for giving us a couple minutes today, man. We wish you all the best. It was fun. Yeah. Good, give us a little dirt on Gunner too. That's beautiful.
Oh man, I got more, so we'll talk again.
I'm gonna go close myself. I'm gonna go close myself in Lake Minnetonka.
All right,
Hey, sound little brother.
What a good dude, man. You know what,
Yeah.
man? Gunner, I got to give it to you, dude. That you went the extra mile putting the costume on.
Yes, I did.
Props.
I did.
Props, man. We are men of our word here. Okay.
Yeah.
If
Yes, we are.
we ask for amount of likes, we get there, we come through. I've come through twice.
Look, my mom said a man of his word.
That's right.
That's right.
This is
Now,
Mrs. Brooks.
You gotta understand, like if I
kept my
put
word.
my brother on, my brother, he'll be hollering, he'll be cussing, he'll probably try. You might hear gunshots from the background because St. Louis is the wild, wild west. He lives in a great neighborhood too, but I tell you what, man, my brother does not play, man. Like he, goes to the Walmart. You can carry in St. Louis. He goes to the Walmart. He makes sure his right there on his hip. He don't play, man. He doesn't play.
Okay.
So you might hear it. If we get 250 likes, I'm gonna see if I can get my brother on. So.
All right, we'll get Barrett's brother if we get to 250.
Who's
today.
a Cleveland Browns fan. I don't know how in the world he's in Cleveland, but he's a Cleveland Browns fan. I don't either, bro.
250 today for what's your brother's first name?
Philip.
Phil. All right,
Phillip,
250 for Philip Brooks. So we'll get Philip on Monday. All right.
I don't know. I don't know if you should do this, man.
Hold on. Barrett, that's getting back off easy. Now, Rob, you ate Cheerios with milk. You ate chunky Skippy peanut butter. I had to put on that nasty Vikings gear. We gotta get Barrett. Now, just getting your brother on is not good enough. We got Rob. Rob. We need to collaborate.
All right. Let's put it to the people, Derek. The people in the chat, give us something that Barrett could do in addition to having Philip on, his brother, who is for some reason a Cleveland Browns fan. We're trying to figure that out.
I do not understand.
Will you tell us what else we can do with Barrett that will go along the lines of what Derek and I did?
Even our producer, Xander, just said, agreed, D-Gun. Barrett's trying to pull a fast one on here. That's right.
What are you talking about? How am I trying to pull a fast? I don't want to put my. I'm gonna tell you, I don't want to put my brother on because my brother, he does not hold his tongue.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? He gonna say whatever the heck he wants to say.
We can curse here. It's okay.
Good.
Yeah. All right, we'll do that. So, chat section. Let's get to 250 and let's give us something for Barrett.
Now, like real talk, like if he might have to be at work when he comes on.
All right,
and his supervisor might come up. And he might cuss his supervisor out in front of, and you guys will hear that. You know what I'm saying? He'll probably get fired because he does it on a regular, cusses them out.
Sounds like Philip's a loose cannon a little bit.
No, he's polecat mean. You know what a polecat is?
Yeah,
skunk mean, bro. He's polecat mean. Right. This dude here, man. He is a piece of work, man. And you would think, once my niece was born,
right.
He became a nice, he calmed down a little. He calmed down just enough that I'm cool with him being out in public. You know what I'm saying?
Out in public?
Yes, I'm cool with him being out in public, man. Because there was times, man, before his daughter was born that I had to pray for my brother, man. I had to pray for him every day, man.
I love Jeremiah Butler said Barrett has to deliver 2 prominent guests on the show.
wait, man. That's almost too hard to do, man.
It's cold. It's cold on these streets, these chat room streets.
That might not be possible.
All right, so that's good. So the challenge is out there, 250 today, and we need something in addition to that, something that Barrett can do in addition to having Philip on. So we will hit all that. Boy, Marv's a trip, man. And what a career. Guy's accomplished.
We didn't even talk about the fact that he used to travel for a company called Legends in Concert. He does a Bob Marley tribute, and man, he can sing Bob Marley songs. And my wife and I, a few years ago, we drove down to Myrtle Beach. Had never been to Myrtle Beach to hear him, and everywhere he traveled, when he works for Legends in Concert, he gets free condo, all this stuff. So he had a nice condo we stayed at. We went to time to go to the beaches. And then there's another band he travels with in Arizona. They play a lot of the casinos out there between Arizona and Southern California. And they even do gigs in Minneapolis as well. So, him and his wife own a phone technology business, and he does music as well. So it's hard to track him down. The fact that we got him on today, I'm sure he made sure he cleared his schedule for this
right.
moment.
Was he in Arizona today, or where was he today?
He was in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah. They have a townhouse in Minneapolis, and he has a home in Arizona. So they go back and forth. They spend the summers because they can go anywhere to do their business, for their phone business. They spend most of the summer in Minneapolis because it's not as hot as Arizona.
Right.
And then they go back to Arizona in September. So
Wow.
Must be nice to be rich. So.
Hold on, my auntie Marla's on. I got to find out where she is.
Oh, she is
in the chat. She's in the chat.
Yeah, auntie Marla. Yeah.
Oh,
where? What? Who? Where?
Oh,
what's her
there
name?
she is, right here. Real fresh
What?
food. Yeah, because she does she goes out, makes her own combos. She plants her own food, has a garden, all that stuff, man.
She's saying Philip doesn't take any.
Yes.
So Philip sounds like kind of. Is Philip a
Marla.
badass or is he a loose cat? Like what's going on here? He's
Both.
a badass. Okay.
Both.
Okay.
so technically, what you're saying is we might have to use the beep button every other word with him, or what?
No, he's not that bad, but he's just not that good. That's all.
Oh my god!
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that was an interesting first segment. We're getting to know you.
It will
Derek.
never happen again.
Locking the poor guy in the garage, and
That never happened. That's a lie. That never happened.
Saying what Marvin said. That's all. I don't know.
See, that's the little brother syndrome. That's that's when you want to thump him on his ears because he's always lying on you and stuff like that.
See,
that's
he
what
said
he
did that.
Yeah.
He said he did that.
Maybe Marvin was telling the truth.
Right,
he deserved that, though. He deserved that.
Okay. All right. So, guys, when we get back, we will turn our sights to the Eagles. By the way, I didn't even mention Merrill Reese is going to join us, the great Merrill Reese.
Oh, yeah.
He's joining us at 2 o'clock. Not only will we talk about what's happening present-day Birds, but also Dick Vermeil going into the Hall of Fame tomorrow, guys, Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Merrill called a large bulk, I think all but 1 year of Dick's game. So Merrill knows of what he speaks when we're talking about Dick Vermeil. And by the way, encourage everybody, check out JAKIBsports.com. Paul Domowitch has a really good piece on Dick Vermeil today and him going into the Hall of Fame and relationship with Wilbert Montgomery. A lot of good stuff there in general, but I really enjoyed that piece by Damo, and kudos for us getting Damo as one of our writers and one of our content providers. He's awesome. All right, so we come back. We're gonna look at the bubble, guys. Barrett, you've seen enough practices thus far to get a handle on kind of what's going on, who's firmly on the bubble still, who's in trouble, who looks good to make the team. We're going to run through the offense, which means backup quarterback, receiver, running back, tight end, O-line. We're going to hit every single position offensively, and we'll kind of go through this. Eagles are off today. Do you know it's a league-mandated day off?
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what that is. Weird. I don't know, but the Eagles are off anyway. So they're not, I'm not saying everybody around the league, but for them, I don't know what the whole story is, but they're off today, back at it tomorrow. And then they have the open practice tomorrow on Sunday night. They have the open practice. So we'll dive into the Birds, what the impressions are thus far, who's in a little bit of trouble, who's in good shape, and what we've seen in general when we get back. Like I said, we'll talk a little bit of Dick Vermeil and Eagles with Merle. We'll continue, by the way, with our week 2 best games. Our helmets, the best helmets in the NFC. We will do that as well. And guys who are still out on the free agent market, some big names. Derek, you brought this to our attention in the pre-show meeting.
Yeah,
there's some heavy hitter names.
I'm just going to set it up. I'm not going to give anything away. But I went to Spot Track because Spot Track is so accurate in terms of keeping up who got free agent money, who's still out there. Technically, there are 791 free agents sitting out there.
Man.
791 free agents. That's a lot of free agents. Everybody's not getting a job, but when you look at some of the names on this list, it's like, wow. I mean, you could field a team with these guys and probably have a decent team. So, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show as well. Right.
We'll hit it all. Phillies won last night in a weird abbreviated game. We'll give you the overview of that and how Noah Syndergaard looked. We'll get into all of it when we come back. All right, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk finances. Let's talk getting you set for later in life, for retirement, for right now, whatever the case may be. And knowing that right person to trust can be a scary proposition. I could speak for personal experience, but I found the right person, and I want you to find the right person too. That's Jim Murray of Principal Financial Group, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, you have a small business and you need help with employee benefits, whatever the case may be, he can help you. And guess what? If you're not really sure about something, you can reach out to him as well. I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollover to Jim, and I couldn't be happier. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751, or you can reach out to him via email at Murray, murray.jim@principal.com. That's murray.jim@principal.com.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on that. Can you
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
The glass is for cocktails, right?
It's for this, 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 and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
All right, welcome back. Good to be hanging with you on this Friday. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, brother of Marvin, Rob Ellis with you. You know I had to work. You're muted, but you know I had to work that in, man. You're still muted. You're muted. There you go. Marvin wouldn't have been muted there, okay?
Whatever,
right.
Dude. Whatever. You know. Hey, somebody in the chat said we should get Barrett to run a mile. I said I would pay money to see that. I'll pay big money to see that.
I would too.
Have him run a mile after he's eaten a pound of his favorite Chinese food.
Oh, no, thank you. All right. So, by the way, I mentioned Merrill, guys. We have Merrill coming up at 2. We do have Paul Domowitch at 1. Damo, who wrote the story that I just referenced about Dick Vermeils. That's awesome. We get a great double dip there. 1 o'clock, Paul Domowitch. 2 o'clock, Merrill Reese. So looking forward to that and talking with those guys. I believe both are in. Excuse me. Damo's in Canton. We will find out where Merrill is.
Merrill's probably on the back green of a golf course somewhere.
Exactly right. Hitting them straight, I'm sure.
Exactly.
All fairways. All right. So a couple things from an Eagles standpoint. No practice today, like I mentioned. They have their first preseason game a week from today against the Jets here in Philadelphia. Will be the first one. And we'll get into last night's game, by the way, in a second, guys. But so here's the way the cut downs work. So August 16th would be the first cut down. They go from 90 to 85. Then August 23rd, 85 to 80. And then the big one, August 30th, 80 to 53. Barrett, let me ask you about that. I don't mean early in your career, but I mean, later when maybe things weren't, 100% that you were going to make it. How nerve-wracking was that stretch up until that last cut? Did you ever have one of those moments?
Oh, heck yeah. I had a bunch of those moments. I was in I told you I was in with the Broncos up in Denver and sitting back, and I'm actually at the house. We practiced the day before, and we were off the day, and it was the last cut day. And the cut time was 4:00. So at 4:00, I'm sitting back it's like 3:50, 3:55, something like that. Then all of a sudden, I get a phone call from the stadium. I'm like, I know they're not about to cut me right now. They are really about to cut me 10 minutes before cut date is over with. And they're going to cut me. He said, bro, they told me to come in and said, bro, you're the last guy on the list. We were trying to see if we can work it out. You can stay. We just can't do it. You know how this business is. I said, but the coach sat there and he told me, you know what I'm saying, that I was going out because I was just talking to the GM at the time. And so I turned around and I said, look, man, this is real messed up because the head coach told me to buy a house and everything else. And I went in, registered my kids from school. My daughter came up. She's only 2 weeks old. So my wife had to fly up with her. And she's only 2 weeks old. So how much of a problem it was for them to come up here, get the kids in school and everything else. She just had a baby and everything. You gonna tell me you gonna cut me now? I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed. In fact, you know what I did? I went into the place where they sell where they have the slips, the FedEx slips.
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed a stack of FedEx slips and I took it FedEx overnight, all my stuff back to my house. It cost like $3,800. And I FedExed all my stuff back. And they were like, well, why would you do that? I said, well, why would you guys cut me and tell me to buy a house and then you knew you were going to cut me? Well, we didn't know we were going to cut you. I was like, well, I didn't know that you was going to cut me either. So I FedExed all my stuff back. Well, you're going to have to pay that back. Okay. I'm going to pay you back. Right. I'm going to pay you back. Hold your breath on that. You know what I'm saying? And when you do breathe, that'll probably be when the check is in the mail. Okay.
Wait. You would have to pay back who?
I had to pay the Broncos back for FedExing.
Oh, so you use their account to FedEx your stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Smart move.
Yeah.
Did they ever they didn't ever try to get it off you, did they?
Well, they called like twice and asked when I was sending money. It's like, man, I'm not sending you anything.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So long story long, man, you guys, you flat out just lied to me, had my family come up and everything else, and then you're going to cut me. Then after I cleared waivers 4 hours later. So I cleared waivers around 8 o'clock. Don't you know I had to go catch a plane at 8:30 to Green Bay?
Oh my goodness!
Because as soon as I cleared waivers, they picked me up. Green Bay picked me up right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Said, "Hey, we need you to get here. We have a game in 2 days." I'm like, "What?" They played like a Thursday night or something. I'm like, "What?" So I jumped on a plane, had to leave my family there, leave my family in Denver with a 2-week-old, 2.5-week-old baby, 2 kids, packing the rest of the house up. She had to do all that stuff herself. So what I did is I flew her best friend and her cousin up to help her out while I was in Green Bay, playing in Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think a lot of people understand the backwork mechanisms of players who are cut and scramble to go somewhere else. And, a lot of them are single, but a lot of them have families, especially young families, and they just have to roll. When a new organization tells you we need you here in 24, 48 hours, you're basically telling your family, you guys, we're going to do this, but you guys have to fend for yourselves until I get situated here. Yeah. And then you got to bring them there. You think about how many players there are out there that have to go to 2 and 3 teams sometimes in 1 year. Think about that.
Exactly.
Now the team sets you up. Yeah, team sets you up with an apartment, right?
Yeah. No.
Whenever they bring in.
No, they don't. You're in a hotel room for the first week. Then after that, you got to yourself.
Wait a minute. They don't even help you find an apartment?
When they tell you, they advise you, what I'm saying? But they figure, all right, the players will, tell you like where they go and, how they can do stuff, you know what I'm saying? But, they try to help you a little bit, but, it's not really help. You fend it on your own.
I thought it was just a given that every team has somebody designated in the organization because every team has a contact of realtors. Okay, they have a contact of realtors. So I thought you would have somebody designated that knows all the area departments, the townhouses, whatever you want. Where they could call somebody. Hey, I got a player coming in. Can you get them set up here? They don't help you do that,
bro. They put you in a hotel for a week. They'll pay for it for a week. After that week, you got to fend for your own, bro.
As much as money as the NFL has, that's how they treat players.
Right, but they feel as though they're paying you a nice amount of money that you can find your own stuff.
That's
You know what I'm
ridiculous.
saying? Like, well, no, what's ridiculous that a coach can even say that to me, and I took it as his word because I ain't got no reason to think he would lie to me. But he turns around, he says that to me. So right now I'm thinking I'm cool. You know, my family's cool. I got my kids enrolled with school. They were supposed to start school the next day. It was like on Tuesday. You know, they're starting school on Tuesday. The cut day was on the cut day was Monday. They supposed to start school on Tuesday. After the cut date, it was like maybe cut time was at 4:00 in the afternoon. I got cut at 3:50.
Ugh.
I cleared waivers at 7:50. I got a call from Green Bay at 8:00. We got you a ticket for 8. It was either 8:45, 8:30, 9:00, because I was right around the corner from the airport where I was. So I couldn't even really pack. I had to really just grab some clothes, some underwear, you know, just for a couple days.
Wow.
And go jump on the plane and fly there. And I was in practice the next day. I woke up and I was in practice the next day preparing for a game, giving me, the playbook and all that stuff. They gave me playbook, all that stuff. When I landed, they came pick me up from the airport, gave me my playbook, told me to look over it. I'll see you at practice. I didn't even know what practice was, bro. The guy came, where the stadium was. They came and got me from the hotel at 7:30 in the morning. Went to the stadium.
And then you have to later ship. You have to pay to ship all your own stuff wherever you are.
Yes, dude.
The team doesn't even pay for that.
No, I didn't even pack up my stuff.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't even pack up the stuff in my locker. I still had stuff in my locker with Denver. There was stuff still in my locker in Denver.
Oh, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. Yeah, Sill's checking in on this. Yeah, I remember. You see it in the movies. I remember in Invincible, right? Yeah. And Mark Wahlberg's playing Vince Papale, and he's sitting in a dorm room, and he's looking under the door for footsteps. Like that day when you're waiting for the Turk, and it's like you're panicked every time somebody walks past your dorm room,
bro.
You're gonna get the knock on the door.
My second year, it's my third year. My third year. It was the second year at Lehigh, but it was my third year. I had a roommate who actually ended up being my right guard, Jerry Kraft. Jerry Kraft. We're sitting in bed, and he was doing the same thing. We're laying in bed, and he was looking at the door. Because we were off that day. We were off the day the Turk was supposed to come. We were looking at the door, and he's looking down, and he's watching, shadows go by.
That's the worst.
But hold on, he has a Desert Eagle in his hand, and dude knocked on the door.
For people who don't know, what's a Desert Eagle?
A Desert Eagle is a gun. It's like a 45 or something, like a 50 caliber, something like that. I'm talking about. Had bullets about this big in it, bro. A handgun. He's sitting there in his bed. Whoever's knocking on my door, either stop playing me or get away from my door. I'm gonna blow a hole in the door.
Jeez.
Jeez. Yes.
Were players just messing with him? Is that what was going on?
It was Richard Cooper. Hey, ho, Jerry. We call him Creamy. Oh, Creamy. I'm just playing, Creamy.
Dude, that is not cool.
That's not good.
Not cool at all.
That's not good, man.
Not
but just
you deserve an ass kicking for that.
Right, exactly.
But
Cooper opened the door and said, "Oh man, I was just playing with you, bro. Don't play like that." He said, "Well, what are you doing with a gun, man? Give me that gun." So Coop went and got the gun from him. He said, "Give me the keys to your car." Took the gun and put it back in his car.
Damn.
My goodness. Hey, but just to add to what Dan Cilio was talking about, the Turk is the worst person in the NFL. See, Turk has to deliver the bad news to players.
Right.
But the Turk is only doing what the coaching staff has told him to do, or the
GM.
The CEO and the GM has told him to do. The Turk is just basically the go-between. He doesn't make the decisions. He's given a list. Go to this room, go to this player, tell him to come to the office and bring the playbook. Yeah. Plain and simple. The Turk is a lot of bad rep.
Yeah, they're just a messenger. Yeah,
that's all he is.
Yeah, and you saw it in Hard Knocks. It's heartbreaking, man.
Bro, it's the worst thing ever. And just like when you think about Howie Roseman, what he's going to go through, there's a lot of good players that he's going to have to let go.
Yeah,
a lot of good players. I was just sitting back thinking about Go ahead. What was you going to say?
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, a guy like Britton Covey. And I know we're going to talk, go by positions and everything a little later on. But Britton Covey, I envision this guy being the next, Wes Welker. He's going to be that type of player. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make a squad, start off being a kick returner, and work his way into a slot receiver position and be dynamic. You know what I'm saying? As far as, being a big playmaker that you can always get the ball to. In fact, Covey would be perfect with a guy like, everybody would be good with Brady, but Brady would take his career to another level. That's how good this kid is and how good he looks in practice. But the chance of him making a squad are slim to none because they're going to keep, I think they're only going to keep 5 receivers. And that's only because they got to have so many linebackers, because the different ways in which they're going to bring the linebacker position over with rush in, defensive end type of linebackers. Then you have the regular linebacker, depth linebackers like the Mike linebacker and the Jack linebacker who plays, the actual linebacker position. But you got like the Sam and the Will. It might be a defensive lineman. It might be a linebacker-esque type of player. You know what I'm saying? Hassan Reddick or maybe a Sweat type of player. Really depends on what they're running. So you got to carry extra linebackers in, and those linebackers usually play special teams. So how do you have a guy like Covey that makes the team just because he's a great kickoff returner?
Exactly.
But he also has skills at the wide receiver position. He has the skill to be there.
Yeah, I saw like 3 plays from him yesterday. I know it's practice, I get it and all that, but where he just made, this was as a receiver, not as a return guy, where great footwork. It feels like a guy they're going to try and sneak on the practice squad and somebody grabs him.
Yep.
It kind of feels like that.
Exactly.
That's the way it's going to shake out.
Exactly. Because all
right, let's look at it then. Yeah.
You got a guy like Jalen Reagor, who may not deserve to be on the field from his past 2 years. But I will say this, he is having a way better camp. He's looking like an NFL wide receiver right now. He looks the part right now. He's doing things and he's making catches. He's kind of showing people that he is a wide receiver. But you got a guy like him will make the squad just because he was a first-round draft choice. Is he better at being a receiver than Britton Covey? I think they're tit for tat right now. Who brings more return game? Covey brings more return game, but Covey was a free agent.
Yeah,
you got Jalen Reagor is a first rounder. So it's such a shady business. You know what I'm saying? It's so shady, man.
I'll tell you what. Since you want to start, going through who's on the bubble, let me start because I'm willing to bet Barry's yearly salary that this guy is not making this roster this year.
Okay.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Now,
you're not really going out on are you going out on a limb there, Derek?
The only reason I brought him up was because I'm looking at ESPN.com. You have every team, they have the depth chart, right?
Yeah.
JJ is, and I know they only have limited spaces. JJ is not even listed on the depth chart at wide receiver or tight end. You got Grant Calcaterra on the depth chart, and Tyree Jackson, who may start the season on the pup list.
I haven't heard his name once. I haven't heard his name once.
Not one time.
Tyler, did you even notice him at practice?
I couldn't even figure out what number he wore or how I even looked at. I never saw him line up at tight end.
Oof.
He's just faded away, man.
They have Jack Stoll. After Goddard, it's Jack Stoll, Tyree Jackson, Grant Calcaterra, no JJ. You look at the wide receiver.
Tyree's not even be able to start the season. He's going to be on the pup list. Yeah.
And then at wide receiver, they have 2, 4, 6, 8 wide receivers listed. He ain't listed on the wide receiver depth chart. They got people like Deion Kane, Britton Covey. It's unbelievable. Who's the other one here? Carrick Wheatfall. Wheatfall. They don't even have them listed as they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah. Well, you know who's showing up a little bit?
I think it's done. It's finally done.
Lance Lenoir.
Yeah.
Is somebody they like. He's a big receiver. He isn't necessarily.
Did he play in the XFL, Barrett, or one of those leagues? He played or USFL. He played in something. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's why he's on the squad right now.
All right. Well, all right. Let's run through. Let's look at wideout. So we know. I think we could all agree. Brown, Smith, Pascal, Watkins. We're all in agreement, right? First 4, boom.
Right.
Easy.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
here's what it comes down to: do 5 or 6 make it? How many make it? Now, let's throw everybody into the mix now. Rager, Ward, Hightower. You mentioned Deion Kane, Covey, Devin Allen. I don't know if he's done anything. I haven't heard his name either at all.
He hasn't. He hasn't.
And a couple of the other guys.
Correct.
And a couple other guys that you just mentioned.
Yeah. You have let's see who else.
And Lance Lenore.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's a free agent. He's a free agent for Fresno State. He hasn't blown anything away. You don't see him in camp. You don't see him shining. You do see Lance Lenore flickering, but he's a veteran player, so he should be okay. You know what I'm saying? He should be all right, but I doubt seriously if he makes the squad this year.
Will they keep 6? Do you think they'll keep 6 back?
No, I don't, because
5.
Like I said, the linebacker position. So I think they'll keep 5. All
right. So who's your 5th? Rager. So that's it. It's just Rager. All the
Rager. Yeah, Rager will be your 5th, and that means that like a guy like Greg Ward Jr. and John Hightower, 2 guys that they, if they'd have kept 6, it'll be a battle between those 2, Greg Ward and John Hightower. Now, what's going on is Hightower has looked kind of impressive. He's done some things. He's made some catches. He's beat some DBs. Greg Ward hasn't done enough. He just hasn't shined enough. But we know on the field, when given an opportunity, he shows up.
Absolutely.
He shows up.
I think he'll get a job real quick if they cut him. I think somebody will sign him quickly.
We heard Jeff McClain, our friend Jeff McClain from the Philadelphia Inquirer, say a few days ago he thought John Hightower was not going to make this team.
Yep.
Because of the numbers game.
Yep.
And, I don't know. I would love. I think based just on work ethic, productivity, even though it's been limited role every year he's been here, I think Greg Ward deserves to make this team. He is sure-handed. He works as hard as anybody else. He might get 20, 30 balls thrown to him a season, but he's always making a big catch. Whether it's a deep ball, whether it's a coffin corner type throw. We used to jokingly call him first down Greg. Most of his catches were for first downs. Every time he gets his hands on the football. Or touchdown. Every time he gets his hands on the ball, which is not that often. I think just based on work, and obviously the first 4 are set. I think we agree the first 4 are set on this team.
Well, I think the first 5 are set.
Who's the 5th one? Who's your 5th one?
Rager. I don't know why you guys keeping Rager out of this. Rager is
I think he's 100% on the team.
Rob's with you. He believes he's going to make the team. I'm on the bubble with Rager.
Well, he should be on the bubble.
Yeah, I'm on the bubble with him.
But you look at the last 2 days, he's shown signs that he wants to be on the roster.
Okay.
Now, right, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Exactly. What does that mean? It just means that he had 2 good practices. That's all that means.
It means he picked up his pace in a limited basis. See,
right.
That's not good enough as a former first-round pick. It's not good enough.
It's not.
You got to show it every day. You're supposed to be a leader, not a follower. When you're a first-round pick.
Look at Taz, man. Taz said, "Rob, we need you to curse Rager." You know how you put that thing on him? You put that root on him.
I'm telling you, man.
The Ellis Maloik.
Yeah.
Put that mojo on Rager.
Right,
I don't think my mojo could even do it. I think he's, because of everything Barrett laid out, and because he's actually had a pretty good camp, I think he's cementing himself a job. And look, unless he looks awful the next 3 weeks, whatever,
Well, the good thing is he'll be going against somebody other than our DBs.
Yeah, it's true.
When he's going to go, and we'll see what he can do against Miami and Cleveland. We'll see what he can do. Because Cleveland has some really, really good DBs. They have, I think, what's their Ward's one of the better.
Ward.
Yeah,
Denzel Ward, yeah.
Just got a big contract and everything, can he show up against those guys? Can he? And this, that's where a lot of these guys can shine. I mean, if you're Hightower, come on, Johnny boy, you got to make it happen. You're 6'2", 190 pounds. You're probably 200 now. Can you use that frame and go up there and debo the ball? I want to see people go out there and catch like A.J. Brown. He snatches the ball out there. He has strong hands. DBs are trying to knock it out. He grabs, and once he's got it, man. He's not letting it go. And that's where that's where Jalen Reagor, really didn't get up to where he needed to be because, contested passes, the DB was winning every single time. So now he's changed a little bit. He's shown that he can go up there and catch it. Now we just see if he can continue. Can I see some consistency in his game? See how good he gets over the next 3 weeks.
I think Howie has passed the point where he would keep a player just to save face.
Yes.
I think the way this roster is constructed right now, I think it comes down to who is best suited to put on a uniform for us every Sunday or be in a rotation. It's not just the 47, but the 53. I think the talent pool is so deep in so many positions that it's a luxury to have right now. And I think, that he's not going to be browbeat into keeping a player just because from what we've seen over the past couple of years, it turned out to be a mistake in terms of where he was drafted.
All right.
That's the way I see it.
I hear you. I think the receiver position is really fascinating, the way this is going to shake out. So, a little later, we'll dig into the other spots on offense. Let's get a quick timeout. We'll come back. We're going to talk to Paul Domowich. We'll get Damo's take. Great piece today on Dick Vermeil and Wilbert Montgomery. D. Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk a little pro action restoration. If you have a home, if you have a business, if you have a property, and you go through the just awful experience of water, fire, smoke, mold damage, whatever the case may be, and you're not really sure who to turn to, they are the people to get in contact with. Pro Action is on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist. I've gone through it myself with my parents' house a few years back. Pro Action was there quickly. They cleaned the place up. The crew was professional, and the price was very reasonable. They're licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company. Again, it could be fire, it could be water, it could be smoke, it could be mold remediation, whatever the case may be. Or if you're not really sure, give them a call, get a consult. 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or reach out online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit. The glass is for cocktails, right?
It's for this, 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 and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
All right, thanks for hanging with us today. We are Sports Take. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Joining us right now, and you can find his great work and what an ad to the team he was at JAKIBsports.com. Excellent piece today on Dick Vermeil and Wilbert Montgomery, one of his centerpieces when he was here with the Eagles. He also coached with them later with the Rams. Nearly 4 decades with the Philadelphia Daily News, and he is a Hall of Fame selector himself. So who better to talk to on this weekend than Paul Domowitch? Domo, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Domo.
Thanks, guys. Good to be with you.
Domo, are you in Canton or are you at the friendly confines in South Jersey?
I am about 15 minutes north of Canton on the 15th fairway of Firestone Country Club.
All right, worst places to be in life, that's for sure. Right there.
Man, he leads a good life.
Yeah, no doubt. Domo, so let's talk about Dick Vermeil, who will be enshrined tomorrow, along with the rest of the members of the class of 2022 in the Hall of Fame. Look, it's been a long wait. This is a guy who started coaching in the NFL in 1976 with the Eagles and remarkably took 14 years off from coaching, went back, ended up winning one with the Rams, finished up with the Chiefs. It was an incredible journey, but it's taken a while to get there, man. Just tell me, for someone who covered him for as many years as you did, just your sense of what this means.
To him, it means everything. I mean, I've never seen a guy that, even before he got in, that wanted to get. Every time you talked to him, you knew how much it meant to him. And anybody that's watched the show, the NFL film show on NFL Network, where Kurt Warner knocked on his door, he already knew that he was getting in. But they surprised him and had the quarterback that helped him win a Super Bowl give him the news. And I mean, it's huge. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of there are gonna be a lot of tears tomorrow.
Yeah, what did we set the over under at, guys? Like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
In?
2
minutes.
Yeah. Hey, Domo, with you being a part of the voting committee, the one thing I want to know about, especially when it comes to Vermeil, when you look at the lengthy hiatus that he took between coaching stints as a pro coach compared to other coaches who've made the Hall of Fame, what was the criteria that you guys arrived at in terms of why he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, well, there's actually a separate committees, smaller committees made up of guys on our larger committee that pick a coach each year for us to vote on and pick a senior player. So I wasn't a part of that. And I lobbied for him beforehand. And, as I pointed out in one of the stories I wrote about him, if you just go by the numbers, there, you could make a case that there are about 5 other guys, including Mike Holmgren, most notably, that have, either better win percentages, better, more, 2 Super Bowls rather than 1, a better winning percentage. But, you've got to also, with coaches, you've got to take in mind what they took over. And he took over 2 abysmal teams in Philadelphia and St. Louis, and the Eagles. I mean, he had nothing to work with. I mean, Mike McCormick, who had preceded him, had used every premium draft pick to try to get over the hill, to get veterans he thought he could win with right away, which backfired. And so Vermeil for 3 years had no pick above the 3rd or 4th round. So wow, it was difficult. I mean, that's I believe that the Super Bowl team had 13 undrafted players on it.
Wow.
So that he had a good personnel department. He made players better, clearly, and they wanted to play for him, even though his camps were hard. So all that overrode maybe that other guys had better records.
Okay.
Who wrote his speech? Did he write it himself, or did he have somebody write it for him?
I'd have to guess. I'd probably think he would. He wrote it, Barrett. He's very detailed. I know when I did an interview with him at his house in April, he was in the process of in putting together the invitation list of players. And I mean, that was a monumental task. He ended up inviting like 375 to 400 players.
Oh, my goodness.
He gave Carl Peterson the task of inviting the coaches and executives that he had coached with. So I doubt he had some. I doubt he hired a speechwriter. I think everything he says on tomorrow afternoon is going to come from his own heart.
Yeah,
Oh,
Damo,
my
you,
goodness.
you mentioned in your piece today just from a player, not even coach or personnel, over 200 former players. Like, that's a hell of a lot of players. I know he coached a long time, man, but that speaks volumes about the loyalty, he endears from these guys.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have been around a lot of coaches. Barrett, you've played for so many coaches. In 40 years, I don't know of a coach that had the relationship long term that he has had with his players. I mean, they had 5 years ago when he turned 80, 15 of his former Eagle players from his teams, most of these guys, and not all of them lived in Philadelphia. Some came, like Wilbert came from Florida. They had threw him a surprise birthday party. I don't think we're going to see that from the Rams when Sean McVay is 85 years old. I'm just guessing. I mean,
you only have about 50 years to go, Damo. So, I mean, it's going to be a little while.
Oh, man.
But the story was about what Wilbert meant to him and what he meant to Wilbert. And while that's an extreme case, I mean, that's probably the epitome of the affection he has had with his players. He has it with a number of others. I mean, you could talk to guys, he held a charity golf tournament for like 27, 28 years. Some of these guys couldn't hardly walk anymore because of, what football did to them. And they'd be coming from California, from Texas, just because they felt obligated to Dick to be there. He finally realized what was going on, and that some of these guys, it was a real trial for them. And he finally canceled the tournament out of his concern for them.
Wow.
Damo, when you look at the career of a Dick Vermeil, and obviously you've had the opportunity to interview him and sit across from him one-on-one, what's first and foremost is your impression of Dick Vermeil when you come away?
Well, I mean, he's the most emotional coach I've ever dealt with, but I mean, you're getting honesty. He's never going to lie to you. There's a lot of coaches that are truthful, but there's just a sincerity with him that you don't see in a lot of coaches. You don't see in a lot of people, and I mean, which comes out when he talks about people, when he cries about people. So I guess that's the biggest takeaway with him is just, the kind of man he is.
Well, how about the Rams years? I mean, he takes 14 years off, which is unprecedented. I got to think about how that would play today, but 14 years. He loses his starter in a preseason game the year that they win it. And, basically gives the keys over to some guy, a total unknown. And they go from like 0 to 180, become the best show on turf, and win the whole thing in one of the craziest Super Bowls where, you see perhaps the best tackle in Super Bowl history, which keeps the guy from scoring for 10. There were just so many things that happened that second go round with him that are just like storybook stuff. No wonder there are movies made about him.
Well, he went into that knowing he had to change a little bit. He delegated more right off the bat, gave his coaches more responsibility, but he still thought he could push players the way he did back in the late 70s. And he couldn't, because this was right after the start of free agency. Players just weren't going to tolerate 3-hour practices twice a day during training camp. But it took him 2 years to learn that. I mean, there were some player rebellions. Kurt Warner talks about them. John Bunning talks about them. How these guys refused to come out to practice one day just because they were constantly wanted him to ease up, and he finally, by the third year, he did, and he changed. And then Trent Green goes down, and he's got no quarterback. He believed in Kurt Warner, but Kurt Warner hadn't played a down. I think he played one game in the NFL the previous season, threw maybe 9 passes. So there were questions about him. But what Dick did, he didn't let if he had any doubts, he didn't let him show. I mean, he stood up immediately after Trent Green went down and said, we're going to win, and we're going to win football games with Kurt Warner. And talking to Kurt, that meant a lot to him. I mean, he knew he could play, had a lot of confidence, but to hear your coach say that meant a lot. And so I think that, Kurt ended up throwing 41 touchdown passes that year. And Dick will be the first to admit he had 5 Hall of Famers on that team. 4
Right.
plus Torrey Holt, who will be in the Hall of Fame one of these years. I mean, he's been a finalist 3 times. So, I mean, he had some offensive weapons: Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Holt, Orlando Pace. But finally everything came together that last year. And if he had stayed, he probably would have won another Super Bowl. And because they went back 2 years later with Mike Martz and lost. But I think that's the fact that he quit right away, the fact that he lost the Super Bowl with the Eagles in '80 were probably 2 contributing factors to why it took him so long to get into the Hall of Fame. I mean, Tom Flores got in before him, mainly because Tom Flores beat him in 1980 Super Bowl and ended up with 2 Super Bowl wins rather than Dick. So,
when you take the win-loss out of both sessions, when he coached, what would you say was his best accomplishment? I'm just taking the Super Bowls out. We know he won it with his second stint, but his first stint, what would you say he did the best coaching job out of both places?
Well, I mean, I think, the first coach with the Eagles, Barrett, he had to be hard on them. I mean, he had nothing. I mean, there were guys that they hadn't won in a long time, didn't know how to win. And I think he had to be hard on them. You could be back then because that was the way it was. And so, but the problem was, and what ended up contributing to his burnout was that he thought he had to do everything by himself rather than learn how to delegate. Second time around, I mean, I think he didn't do as much hands-on coaching. He delegated better, but he ended up, he had a good staff. I mean, he started when he first got there, he hired Bud Carson as his defensive coordinator. Bud only lasted a year before he had health issues, but then he hired John Bunning, who was an excellent, he was his linebackers coach. He promoted him. He hired Mike Martz right before that Super Bowl season, and Mike, for all his shortcomings, was a heck of an offensive coach. So I think I think he did a better job as far as hands-on coaching the first time around. I think the second time around with the Rams, what helped him win that Super Bowl was his ability to know he had to just let other people do things and had to change the way he approached his dealings with players.
Damo, let me ask about present day. I know, obviously, you're still keeping an eye on what's happening with the Eagles, and it feels like all roads lead back to Hurts. And if that's where you're headed, by all means. What's your sense of this season, how good they are? What's the ceiling here for this team?
Well, I'd sure like to see him in person, Rob, but I can't get a credential to training camp.
Yeah, I mean, you only covered the team for the NFL for 40 some years.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong.
And now I work for the 33rd team, who just hired Bill Parcells and Bill Cowher. I'm guessing they can get credentials. Anyway, I'm not going to belabor that point. I think, if they stay healthy, I think they're going to be a very good team. I think they're an 11-12 win team. Obviously, it all comes down to Jalen. I still think, I believe he's going to improve. The question is, what's his ceiling? Is it high enough to to get them over make them a team that can go deep into the playoffs? He's got weapons. I mean, there's nothing right now. He's got the best offensive line in the league. So I mean, there's no excuse right now for this offense not to be very, very good this year. And defensively, I mean, I found fault with Howie many times during his career, but you got to give him credit for what he's, the improvements he's made this offseason. They should have a much better pass rush. Their defensive line is going to be versatile. I mean, they can move all those guys all over. I mean, I think I would not be surprised to see a lot of Jordan Davis on the edge in sub packages, just because, I mean, what tackle or tight end can stop the combination of power and speed that he brings? So, I think you're going to see the sacks go up. They've improved at linebacker. So, injuries always are a telling factor as the season goes along. But I mean, I think this team can win, 11, 12 games and make a serious move in, deeper into the playoffs than they did last year, when it was a given that they weren't going to make it past the first round.
Do you see the run game staying like it is, or do you think they have to advance as far as what they do on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, Barrett, I got to believe that they don't want to do what they did last year. I think they did that out of necessity. I mean, it saved their season changing to the run. running so much. But I mean, I think they've got to find a better balance this year. You want to find a better balance. You didn't bring AJ Brown in, and you don't have these weapons to run the ball 35, 40 times a game every week. So I think Nick's going to try to find some balance there, assuming Jalen, is up to the task.
Damo, you always keep a wider scope on this too. NFC East, has Dallas come back to the pack a little bit? Could there be a surprise in Washington? I know the Giants is kind of a rebuild here with Dable. What's your sense of the East?
Yeah, I think Dallas has come back a little bit. Washington's intriguing. I still think, for all of Wentz's faults, I still got to believe he's got some good football left in him. And I think, the thing about going to Washington is I think Scott Turner, the offensive coordinator down there, is a guy that could get them. He's an underrated offensive mind who I think can get more out of Carson than we've seen the last, few years since his last year in Philadelphia. So I think they're going to be better than maybe we think right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants, I like Dable, so we'll see. I don't know if he's got enough talent. I'm not as down on Daniel Jones as a lot of people are. But it's going to come down to, their line play, because they need Saquon Barkley to be what Saquon Barkley was a few years ago. So, the division is there for the Eagles. It's not like last year where you just felt the Cowboys were head and shoulders above everyone else.
I'm glad you brought up the Giants. I was going to ask you, is Dable the guy to bring the most out of Daniel Jones, since you believe Daniel Jones is better than a lot of people have critiqued him?
Yeah. Well, all you can go by is the past.
Right.
And, what he's done with Josh Allen up in Buffalo. So it'll be interesting. It's kind of one of those things to see how they use him. Do they play to his strengths? But I think Daniel Jones has a better chance with this guy than he's had in the past.
Let me ask you, Damo, when it comes to Nick Sirianni, certainly last year you go from 4 wins to 9 wins. He gets them in the playoffs. I don't think any of us saw that coming. They did do it a little bit unconventional on offense, but you got to do what you got to do. Just going into his second year now, he turned over the play calling to Steichen. He's a guy who's kind of rah-rah-ish, whatever, but it seems to connect with his players. I haven't heard you do any kind of analysis on just him in general. What do you think about Sirianni?
Yeah, I like Nick. It was easy to, and I was probably as guilty as anyone initially with, some of the, the things he was doing that kind of were easy pickings as far as criticizing. But I think he's got a good relationship with, I think he's the locker room is on his side right now. I think he's got a good coaching staff. I think Jonathan Gannon got a lot of criticism last year that was undeserved because I think he had to be as vanilla as he was because of what he was playing with. I think he was just trying to survive. He just he was trying to keep teams out of the end zone. And to a certain degree, he did that. I forget what they finished in points allowed, but it wasn't horrible. But this year he's got weapons on defense that, we're going to find out just how good or mediocre Jonathan Gannon is as a coach this year, because I think we're going to see a lot more imagination in his defense, a lot more blitzing. Nakobe Dean, I think, can be a terrific. He was a terrific blitzer at Georgia. So you've got to use that weapon. You got to use Jordan Davis in various roles. We'll see what Fletcher Cox has anything left. He's got a good staff with him. I think he's smart enough to use these guys. Right now, whether he's good enough to take a team to the Super Bowl, who knows? Until 2017, I don't know that anybody thought Doug Peterson could ever get a team to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Good point. Damo, as we sit here today, and from what we've seen of a Jalen Hurts and everything we keep hearing about him in camp this year, do you think he has the makeup to improve his game significantly or marginally?
Well, that's $1 million question. He's improved every year. Again, we don't know what his ceiling is, though. He's in the same offense for the first time since high school, 2 years in a row. That's got to help. I don't know. He worked with other coaches during that period when you're not allowed to work with your own coaches, which is not a good thing.
Right.
But did he learn bad habits? Did he learn things that are going to make him better? I don't know. I mean, one of my biggest takeaways with him last year, which I thought he had to find a way to improve, was he could not move to his left. I mean, when defenses made him go left, it was, his completion percentage was much lower.
Yep.
His accuracy was much lower, and teams were basically taking away the right side, making him run a lot longer to get outside of the right side. So, has he learned to throw better when he's moving left? I don't know. And again, I haven't seen any training camps, so I think people have been a little bit too critical of, what he's done in a couple of team drills and this. I think you got to give a quarterback all a training camp, all the preseason before you really start picking apart his performance.
That's the whole offense as a whole, though. Because a lot of people get, the defense is dominating, right? Well, that's what happens in training camp. That's what they do in training camp. There are going to be situations where the defense will be ahead of the game. It's not until you see them against an opposing offense who hadn't jumped all the routes, who hadn't seen all the route covers, who know the little idiosyncrasies of the whole offense, that you'll really see who this team and what they bring to the table. But
absolutely,
when we go from each player, what do you think that Jalen Reagor as becoming a good wide receiver in this league, is that opportunity, that ship sailed away, or is it, is he at a point now where he can change a little bit?
That's a good question. It's now or never for him. That's for sure. They probably got 4 spots locked up. It's up to him. I mean, he's got talent. There's no question about that. It's all going to depend on what kind of preseason he has. I mean, and the problem is he's got to convince them he deserves reps. He deserves playing time. My guess is that what I've seen of him last year and as a rookie, I'd be very surprised if he makes any kind of, if we're talking about him in week 1 or 2 and saying, holy cow, he made an incredible move. But will he make this club? I think that's still a possibility. I mean, because it's his last year, unless nobody's going to jump out and offer them a fortune for him. So, it's a very good possibility he ends up as their 5th receiver.
Damo, last one from me here. How do you see this playing out with Deshaun Watson? I mean, what a circus this has been, and we're still not out of it yet. Do you think the league, and I know Goodell's almost handing this off as well, but do you think they go for the entire season? And do we see him play this year?
Well, I mean, what they recommended before the arbitrator made her initial ruling was a year's suspension and I believe an $8 million fine. He was smart to give it off to somebody else now with the appeal, because he would have lost the players if, having a system where they could appeal anything and it would go to Roger, that just didn't make any sense. So I don't know. I mean, I was shocked that you read what she said about him and options and then see what the punishment she handed out. I mean, it doesn't equate. So I don't know.
No.
I mean, I'm confused. I would have to think. I don't know anything about this Harvey, the guy that is going to be the arbitrator. It can't be any less. I'm sure of that. I would have to think that he'll end up with a steeper one, but will it be a year? I don't know.
Yeah, I hear.
Hey, Damo, how many years now have you made the trek to Canton for Hall of Fame inductions?
You know what, Derek? Actually, I don't come a lot.
Okay.
Lately, I have, because there's been Eagles involved. This year, Harold last year, Doc in 2017. I don't really like this whole thing. It's hot. As you can see, I'm sweating now. I got to go to the gold jacket tonight is inside, but beforehand you're outside, and the bar is just. Fortunately, they've shortened the speeches, which I remember being here. I think it was 2017 when Doc went in. Ray Lewis also went in. And Ray talked for 2 days. I never saw. I'm a sweater, but this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that gold jacket was just drenched by the time.
Yes.
this speech.
I don't know. You look like you're enjoying it to me. You're out golfing today. You're in the sun. You get your health. You have a healthy environment.
Yeah, you look like you're in the middle of the forest. It looks good.
Look miserable to me. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? I'm staying with some good friends that have a place right on the Firestone Country Club. So it's nice. That part's nice. I just don't like to go outside in this humidity.
I hear you. All right. Well, you can follow him on Twitter at PDamo, and also check out his great work, JAKIBsports.com, the 33rd Team, FB, Philly Mag. He's all over the place, man. You can't stop Damo. You can only hope to contain him, and that's not even going to happen. But
if anybody sees any loose training camp credentials flying around, grab them.
We'll take care of you. Yeah, I hear you. Thank you, Damo. Thanks for a couple minutes, man. Enjoy it. Have fun. Stay cool this weekend.
Have fun, guys. Take care.
All right, that's Paul Domowitch. Good stuff on Vermeil. Good stuff on the Eagles right there from Damo. All right, let's step aside, guys. We will continue the football talk. Merrill Reese is going to join us at 2. Go ahead, Derek.
Hold on, Robbie. While we were interviewing Damo, I was texting back and forth with someone, and as of right now, don't hold me to it, because the last text I got from this person was, "Call me on Monday, please." So hopefully we will have Dick Vermeil himself on Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're still working on it.
All right. Good work out of you, Gunner.
Yeah.
Gunner's always working, man. Doesn't matter when it is. He's always
fire, man.
That'd be fun. That would be fun for sure. All right, let's step aside. We'll come back. A couple things we're going to dig into. We'll keep going with the depth chart. Who's on the bubble? We'll get into some NFL stuff. Hey, did you see the Stafford stuff? Some problems with his elbow?
Yeah, and they said this. They're kind of concerned because they're saying it doesn't make sense, the type of pain he's going through. It's like
pitching elbow.
It's like what?
Pitching elbow.
Yeah,
yeah, like he's on a pitch count right now, and Sean McVay called it abnormal.
Yeah,
it's never a good sign.
No,
but also, did you see Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow had appendectomy.
Appendectomy. Yeah. So he's out a little bit as well. We'll talk about last night's game. One big name guy returned to practice today. We'll get into some free agents who are still floating around. Week 2 schedule, all kinds of stuff in store. So we'll dig into all that when we get back. So don't go.
Also, how is Baltimore's quarterback not signed yet?
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah,
especially after Kyler Murray got his deal done. I'm really surprised at that.
If there was anybody who deserved a number like that more so than Kyler Murray, it would be Lamar Jackson.
Also, Baltimore's just such a good organization. Like that stuff doesn't usually happen there, and usually it's taken care of.
Yep.
So yeah, that one's weird, Barrett. We could talk about that too. That's one to keep your eye on where that goes for sure. All right, don't go anywhere. Phillies won last night as well. We'll dive into that. All kinds of stuff in store for you for the latter half of the program. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. D Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. Let's talk a little Razor technology. All right, with cyber threats like ransomware on a seemingly endless uptick and the risk of a breach or data loss higher than ever, we need to know, and you need to know, just who is accessing your network, systems, and applications, because that mission can be critical. Identity management from Razor Technology is a holistic framework of policies and technologies that lock down access to the right users for only the right reasons. We deploy cutting-edge solutions that identify, authenticate, and monitor access across your entire IT system. Razor Technology determines how users gain identity to your system, what roles they need to fill, and enforces access controls and network protocols, digital certificates, behavioral analysis, and secure authentication methods. Talk to Razor Technology today to learn how to identify management and can reduce the risk of data breach while avoiding costly errors and downtime due to lack of access. Contact Razor Technology at 866-797-3282, 866-797-3282, or visit us online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit. Glasses for cocktails, right?
It's for this, 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 and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Back with Sports Take on this Friday. Hope you're doing well out there. Hey, let's smash the like button, man. We are struggling a bit in the like section. So let's.
Where are we right now? How many we got?
Not a lot. Not a lot. We're down today, so we got to get up with our likes there as we get Barrett's brother.
Hey guys,
yeah, I want to hear Barrett's brother go
off.
Hey
guys,
yes.
You guys see this thing with these monkeys stealing babies in Japan?
No.
I'd heard somebody told me about that, but I haven't seen
Bro, this is like real stuff, you know. This is real.
Give
monkeys,
me that.
It's like 60 people have been attacked within the last 3 weeks, or they stolen babies and thrown them off buildings. Yes,
monkeys are doing it.
Monkeys are doing it.
The problem is that there's certain areas in Japan where people go to see these monkeys up close and personal. It's tourists. They're like tourist attraction. And now they're getting too close to, and it's getting crazy.
Well, no, they're coming to their houses.
They're getting so comfortable with humans. Yeah, see, that's not good.
What kind of stuff is that, bro?
That's
kicking
like
a monkey's ass, bro.
That's like Planet of the Apes stuff right there, man.
Right, bro. I mean, dude, I'm watching this. I watched this one. I was just watching on
Look at Rob crying, laughing. Don't get me started.
I'm kicking the monkey's ass.
Don't get me
But I was just saying, dog, like
Rob.
It was like 4 people, dog. 4 people. They were by this gate. There was a baby and 4 people.
I mean, this is not fun. It's not funny. It's not funny. Come on, man.
I'm tearing that monkey up, bro. I'm choking the hell out that monkey, dog. Somebody go try to take my baby, dog, or somebody else's baby while I'm standing there. You just not gonna do that, man, bro. And they say like clawing him and dog. You defending a baby, man. This one lady, I was watching this one lady. The monkey had the baby by. Well, it was actually 4 people. This is the messed up thing. It was 4 people sitting there by this ladder and this fence, and the monkey comes up and starts trying to take the baby. How about the 4 adults haul ass? They leave.
They leave the baby?
Yeah. And then the lady whose baby it was sees it, runs over there, and snatches the monkey away from the baby.
Oh my
and
God.
he's got the baby by the leg, so she gets it off, and he's steady attacking. So evidently, the baby's father comes, and he's like giving a half-hearted like kick, like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm like, dude, you're not.
Are you kidding me, man?
Mom is going in. Mom is going in.
Here's the story. People in southwest Japanese city of Tokyo have come under attack from monkeys that are trying to snatch babies, biting and clawing at flesh, and sneaking into nursery schools. The attacks on 58 people since July 8th are getting so bad, Yamaguchi City Hall has hired a special unit to hunt the animals with tranquilizer guns. The monkeys are not interested in food, so traps have not worked. They have targeted mostly children and the elderly. They are so smart, and they tend to sneak up and attack from behind, often grabbing at your legs, city officials said on Wednesday.
Now, are they being trained? Like, where? Like, how is this happening?
No, these are wild monkeys. Wild monkeys doing this.
God.
Yes. I mean, can you imagine that? You know, like you're an old lady and the monkey comes up behind and grabs your leg, and they're attacking.
And they're strong. They're strong, dude.
They're calculated because you just said they attack from the back.
Wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
Well, you know, they've done documentaries.
With my children, it's on, man.
Right. You whoop his ass too, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
See?
Yeah, there's get some monkey.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's really frightening is that in the last 10 years, they've done like documentaries, like a lot of these, you know, like Discovery Channels and stuff like that on the chimpanzee in the wild. Chimpanzees have adapted to the point where, you know, we just thought they were like fruits and vegetable type animals. They have now orchestrated to where they are killing like other monkeys, or if they can catch another animal, like, you know, the equivalent of squirrels or whatever, they're now eating flesh.
Oh my
God. Now, you know how strong chimpanzees are. We've seen stories of people in the United States who have had them as pets. They've gotten to a point they just freaked out. And, you know, I believe it was a woman in Connecticut had a pet chimpanzee and clawed her face and disfigured her face so badly that they couldn't even reconstruct her face, you know, stuff like that. Oh, I'm telling you, dude, it's
whoa,
bro. Yeah, they're getting now, like they're when they are in the wild, they send out hunting parties to go find other.
Yeah, the monkey. Yeah, ripped off her face. You know, Barrett told me I'm whooping a monkey.
Oh, look, the next shift.
It's not funny, but.
He said, "How come I was saying Britton Covey, man?
What happened?"
I'm talking about Britton Covey. I've changed my mind on Britton Covey. No, I haven't changed my mind on Britton Covey. He's not making the squad. I'm still adamant on that. But I didn't say the man couldn't play. The man is unbelievable. I mean, I watched him play against USC. He was the Utah Utes offense. He can ball, but he just doesn't fit into this number count here.
Jamie's not bigger, man. If he was just a little bit bigger, he's
right.
That's the rub, man. He's a smaller guy.
He's smaller wide receivers, you know, the Wes Welkers, guys like that, Danny Amendolas. You know, you get him with a quarterback that, you know, reads things fast and gets it out to him. He could be a really, really, really good player. Yeah. Really good player.
No question. All right, I'll get back to the Birds in a second. Phillies win last night, guys, in a weird one. It was abbreviated because with the rain we got here in the Philadelphia area. 4.5 inning game. Look, props to the Phillies. They did what they had to do. They scored 4 in the fourth, which was huge. Hoskins solo shot. Bohm continues to scorch. 3-run shot from him. Bohm, by the way, last 29 games, he's hitting 400 with a 417 on base and a 591 slugging percentage. It's remarkable what he's been doing. They're 36-19 since June 1st. They're 35-19 under Rob Thompson. They've dominated the Nats. They're 15-2 over them. Last 17, I think, played altogether. Syndergaard. Syndergaard. I mean, look, he went 5 innings. He gave up 11 hits, man.
Oh man, he got rocked.
He had nothing. He's gonna get credit for a complete game. He stunk last night. Now, to the credit,
here we go. Another pitcher getting fired. Another pitcher getting fired.
No, he did. He stunk. I mean, come on.
He's on Rob's hot list.
Right. Two things happened. The offense bailed him out, and listen, Derek, listen to what I'm about to say. Castellanos makes another great defensive play with the catch him, throw him out at the plate. Which, by the timing could have been better. That was in the bottom top of the fifth. He gets the double play to stop the bleeding. Phillies led 5-4 at that point, and then the rains hit. I mean, it was perfect timing. But we keep it real. No, Syndergaard stunk.
Rob's gonna get Syndergaard jacked.
No.
Now he's getting on. He's getting on the D Gun Castellano bandwagon. All right, it's a weird Friday, man. My brother was on the show. We're talking about monkeys attacking people, man. It's not even April Fool's Day, man. It's a weird Friday, man.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Bro, that's crazy, man. I just saw it, man. I'm like, how does this happen, man? I mean. Yeah,
I got now. I'm gonna be. That's all I'm gonna be doing is going down rabbit holes watching this monkey stuff now.
Right.
You
know what I'm saying?
Crazy, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
that's almost as bad when I went up to Montana and North Dakota when they have grizzly bear alerts. I'm not living anywhere there's going to be a grizzly bear alert. I mean, I can see if there's a tornado alert, or I can see if anything but a bear walking in your backyard. You got the. I mean, if a bear wanted to come get you, nothing you could do about it. A grizzly, there's nothing you could do about it.
No, a black bear is one thing. A black bear will run. I
might be able to whoop his ass, but not a grizzly bear.
Maybe back in your playing days. Now that you 50, that ain't happening, dude.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm not living in a place where I could walk into my yard and there's some gigantic bear that's about to end me, man.
Eating your trash cans.
Yeah, no.
They say when a full-grown grizzly bear stands on his hind feet, he's over 11 feet tall. That's it. That's where I check out. I'm gone.
Bro, they say it's God. They say it's God country, man. Well, yep. You can stay out there with God all you want to.
I think we have a suggestion.
I got it. Oh, I'd love to see this. This would be a showstopper.
John Dickerson, 250 likes, and Barrett wrestles a bear.
That would be an all-time showstopper.
No, it was this. See, JAKIB Media. I don't know if they could pay me enough for that.
What's the insurance policy on that one, man? I don't
right. Joe, I love you, Joe, but Joe, no.
Hey, man, let me tell you, so that hook bear behind it. That's it.
Oh, forget it. 11 feet. You got the reach on that thing too. Forget it. I get freaked out. I'm telling you, man. Like I was in Arizona for the first time earlier this year before we started doing the show.
Oh, you've never been there before?
No. And okay. Me and another guy are driving along, and we see a gigantic coyote, and I was like, "Oh!" And he's like,
"I thought they were small, right?"
Dude, this one I saw was huge, and this guy's like, "Yeah, man, you just kind of get used to it." I'm like, I wouldn't get used to that. I mean, this thing was a behemoth, man. It was a big one.
And they said in some places they're breeding with domestic dogs.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So there's one golden retriever had a litter of
a coyote golden retriever litter.
Yes, and the dogs were huge.
What's going on?
And they couldn't tame them, man. They couldn't tame them. You know what I'm saying? That's that, and they were just wild. You know, so they sent them to this little, not a retreat, but like a little place they send the wild animals to.
Right.
Yeah.
And the dog was so big, they were fighting the wolves and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Yeah.
I was out in Arizona a while back, maybe this was 10 years ago, when my brother, and they live in a nice development below a mountain range. And so he likes to get up and walk, him and his wife, to walk, their morning walk, like 7 a.m. Yeah. Dude, I ain't about that stuff, but I did it just because I said I wanted to do it. So we're walking this beautiful trail, and they kept saying, we're only going to go up one more level and maybe go up like 4 levels. So we started to come down, and all of a sudden I grabbed my sister-in-law, I said, stop. And in front of us, it was like a rattlesnake going right. The rattlesnake wasn't more than 12 yards in front of us. Mm-hmm. She would have stepped right on him if I hadn't seen him. And he like blended in with the dirt. And
they're like camouflage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's times when these wild pigs are called javelinas. They look like miniature versions of a wild boar.
Yep.
They're running through my brother's development. They just come down out of the mountains. I'm like, what is this Wild Kingdom or what?
I'm not that in touch. I'm not that in touch either, D-Gun. I'm not that in touch, man. Like in Arizona, you got to shake your shoes out because
my brother does every day.
Scorpions,
get in your shoes. They come into your homes through the like the air ducts, and especially when you have a newer development, they have nowhere to go because you've messed up their habitat.
Yeah, you've taken out their area.
So all of a sudden, they're in your backyards. I've been out there a couple of times. My brother said, "Look up." Looked up on the ceiling. There's scorpions crawling across the ceiling. I'm like, oh heck no! I'm not afraid of bugs. If anything, I'll kill them. You know, my brother, he won't admit this. He's afraid of bugs. I have to kill bugs in this house for him. He's not a bug person. So I'm going to send him a bug zapper.
Yeah.
I doubt if it could knock down a scorpion, but he would love a bug zapper. But
Man.
I'm telling you, man, you got to shake your shoes. Bear's right before you put your shoes on out in Arizona.
That's crazy, man. I mean, you think of stuff like that. I can't see myself opening them up front. I'm yawning, got a newspaper. I'm yawning, and there's a what do you call it? A moose sitting in your yard.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
And so the moose like look you eye to eye. Like the mooses are like at the highest point, like 7 foot tall.
You know, a full-grown moose, 10 feet tall at the shoulders, a full male.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
At the shoulder.
No, I don't think so.
And they tell me all you got to do is have a red shirt, and you start waving a red shirt, they'll start running because they think it's fire.
I ain't doing that. No.
Is that right? They're afraid of red.
Yeah. So if you do like that, you shake your head, it'll start running because they think it's fire.
See, I'd be the one that he would run towards me instead of away from me. No, I ain't doing that. No.
Well, look at Mr. Taz. Taz, I remember I had to kill a grizzly when I was with the.
What?
There you were.
Kill a grizzly?
When I had to kill a grizzly, it took 4 shots. Come on, bro. 4 shots. First of all, I'm not going to be in that cabin.
No, I'm not doing that.
All right.
No.
No,
yeah,
right.
I mean, oh boy. All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad I live where I live, man.
Right.
Woof. All right. Let's go back to the depth chart. Now I'm freaked out into this conversation. Good God.
This show's off the chart.
Yeah. Sweet Home Delco.
Sweet Home Delco is right. Oh my God.
Oh, you got to worry about his little spiders, maybe, right?
Worry about crazy human beings. Forget about moose and everything else. Yeah, I deal with enough maniac humans around here.
Yeah, you see people all the time. I mean, they go to they ride bike trails in Yellowstone. They ride bike trails and
all by himself too, dude.
Right. And then also the cougar starts running and knocks them off the bike and grabs them by their head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I people are out for runs, in the mountains a lot. Like
no. I'll tell you something, Rob. Though you don't see a lot of brothers doing that, man. Ain't the brothers ain't doing it.
Yeah, well,
we
this brother ain't doing it either, man.
You don't see when you watch all these animal documentaries, you don't see brothers out there pointing at, oh, look at the 12-foot gator.
You're right about that.
We ain't doing it. We ain't snorkeling. We ain't doing that stuff, man.
Yeah, wow. I told you, I'm one of those people when I'm at the zoo, I'm not getting near the rail. I'm not taunting the animal or any of that, man. I keep it moving. Oh, there's the alligators. Good. Okay. On to the
Rob
next
is my
one,
dude, man. Rob is my dude, man. My dude.
I see those people. They're like, oh, let's get close. Okay, that's fun. Bro, I hope you become gator bait. Oh God,
bro. One time I took my daughter to the New Jersey Aquarium. And you go into this one room, and it's got, a huge wall, with all these fish in there. So look, I'm talking to my daughter as we're walking in, and she's not paying attention to that big wall. And she sees the big, sharks, everything swimming in there.
Yeah, and they're right up on you. Yeah.
Right. It's like, it's like 30 foot tall and probably like 100 foot wide, so we're walking. So she's talking to me. She hadn't looked at what time. I said, oh, look at the fish. We were about halfway through. I said, "Oh, look at it." She turned around and saw that, bro. She literally climbed up my leg, scared to death. Next you know, she was wrapped around my head, down her leg. She wrapped my head. I said, "You okay, man?" You got it, dog.
I don't blame her.
I had to take her out, man. She was not having that, dog.
Yeah,
she did not see it, and once she saw it, man, she was definitely scared, man. She was like, I can't take it.
It's true, man. And John Dickerson is not wrong back in the day. That is correct. 2 a.m.'s coming soon. Let's go, man. You know what I mean? It ain't happening. It's true. Very true, man. Very true. Yeah, man. I don't get that. Yeah. It's a rush to mess with the animal.
No, bro.
No, I'm in a rush to get away from the animal.
No, I'm not jogging up in the foreign mountains by myself. Yeah, I got friends that love to do these treks where they go to the Appalachian Mountains and they hike the trails and you can stay, they have cabins designated in certain areas in Appalachia where you can just spend the night there, I'm not doing that. I don't know what the heck I'm going to Appalachian Trail. I don't know what's around the bend from me, man. I'm not doing that stuff, man.
Bro,
No.
I'm not jogging. I'm not jogging off in the wilderness by myself. Ain't happening because I'm probably not coming back.
Exactly.
I have a dude that play-by-play guy that I work with on when I do my ESPN college football games.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Sean Kennedy. Now, Sean, if you look him up on Instagram and stuff, he's got pictures where he last week for vacation, he and his family went down to Georgia somewhere, and he was kayaking in the same stream or river with alligators.
Nope. Nope.
So he's been on assignment. Like he did a game down in Florida where all in one weekend, like he'll get down there on Wednesday. He goes out and he's out there with alligators, and the alligator, he's being chased by an alligator. That's one incident that happened. Then after the game, he goes out and he starts surfing and gets bit by a shark. This is in one weekend.
No.
You can look it up on his Instagram.
Chased by an alligator and bit by a shark.
Yes.
In one weekend.
Yes. This
guy's still doing this stuff. He's still
So last week he was with his family down in Georgia. He was kayaking with alligators in the water.
Oh my God.
My pops used to tell me all the time, see, boy, you don't believe fat meat's greasy. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe fat meat's greasy. Keep on.
I don't get it. What's the fun of that? Like,
right. I don't want to be scared.
No,
I
just
don't want that
traumatized. Yeah, I would be ruined. Like, I mean,
no, I'm not doing it. Can't do it.
Yeah, I don't. It's just
not gonna do it.
He was the same one that was with me in in Montana when we did a Montana Grizzly game.
Yeah,
he's the one that was, hey man, let's walk to the stadium. Huh? Hell no, we didn't walk to the stadium.
Yeah.
No, it's not because it's cold. No. Because earlier that day, 3 hours earlier that day, there was a grizzly alert on campus. On campus. And he want to go find it. Dude, I told him like this, black people.
This dude's a thrill seeker.
Tell him, Bear, we don't do that. We don't do that stuff, man. We ain't doing it.
No, thank you.
I'm not looking at and Rob. The black people and Rob.
Hold up, man. Hold up.
Yes.
Look at this. Look at what Tavern Mike just put out there. If you find a pile of dung on the ground, you have to touch it to see how fresh it is. What? Put your face all up in and see how recent the bear has been. Meanwhile,
I don't need to be the dung detective. You know what I mean? No thanks.
All Rob wanted to do was talk sports, man. We were Wild Kingdom.
I tried, man. I gave it the old college try.
Look, blimey, it's still a little warm. Hey, the big fella might be still around here.
Yeah.
Bro, I just won't know, man.
You hear all these stories. Like, just punch the bear in the nose and you'll be fine. Like, all this stuff. Like, really?
Run downhill. The bear's body weight is so loose. You can't run downhill fast. I'm not gonna be anywhere where I can outrun a bear. I'm not testing
bro.
it.
They say if you chase by an alligator, all you gotta do is run patterns like this, because it can't change direction. It won't be able to get you.
Well, I'm glad somebody else.
How long are you doing that for, too,
bro? Exactly. I'm never doing it because I can remember I went and played in this golf tournament down in Florida. We get to this par 3, and I look down there, and there's an alligator sitting like 12 feet away from the hole.
Ooh.
So I'm like, all right, I'll meet y'all at the next hole. This one, oh no, we got to tee up. No, you can take my shot, bro. You can take my shot. I'm not going down there, bro. I don't want my ball to go down there.
Yeah, I played a course. This is years ago in Pompano Beach, which is, it's like right outside of Fort Lauderdale. It's not like I wasn't in like the Everglades or something, but I'm playing with this guy who was really good. He was a club pro, and he says, "Listen, I don't know how good you are." I'm like, "I'm not good." He said, "All right, so if you hit into the trees, just an FYI, you might find gator or a lot of different things in there that could be dicey or whatever." And I'm like, "Excuse me." What? So he says, yeah, whatever. Just go in there and be quick. I go, dude, if I hit it into the trees, it's staying in the trees. The gator can have it for lunch. That ain't happening. Like, I said, do they come out onto the course? He's like, not usually. I'm like, not usually. Like, I'm not sure we're playing today, man. Like, this might be over. Where's the bar? You know what I mean? Where's the clubhouse?
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
All right, let's
man.
that was an interesting segment. Let's
Unscheduled.
yes. That's what they say with the off-schedule plays are always the best, is what they say about
I
the
mean, my fault, man. I was just fascinated with monkeys stealing kids, dog. We start out with monkeys stealing kids, man.
Whoop some monkey ass, as you
Marathon
say.
with a monkey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the line of the show. All right, let's I guess
my
Merrill's
head
next.
hurt, man.
We'll hit Merrill with all these kind of things. I'm sure he'll appreciate
Oh,
it. So
my
we'll
goodness.
talk to Merrill Reese about the current state of the Eagles, Dick Vermeil, all that good stuff when we get back. Don't go anywhere. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk about Flynn Tree Services. Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree service company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. We're cost-effective solutions. We got plenty of those to any tree problem you may face. So, do you have any type of tree issues in your yard or on your property? If you do, we're just a quick phone call away. We are experts at trimming all types of trees in southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, and tree pruning. Keep in mind, too, storm season's coming up. Storms, hurricanes, you name it. Now's a great time to have your trees evaluated. Make sure that they're not dead. They may fall on your property. You don't want that. Go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit. Glasses for cocktails, right?
It's for this, 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 and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Yeah, okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Welcome back in. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, along with Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks. I am Rob Ellis, thrilled to be joined by our next guest. He has been calling Eagles
There he
games
is.
since 1977. And I believe, Merrill, even maybe before that as a color analyst as well, but entering what is his 46th season, Merrill?
40.
Okay. Merrill, good to see you. That the one and only, the GOAT, Merrill Reese. What's up, Merrill? How are you?
I'm well. I'm looking forward to a week from tonight when we get to see a real game.
Yes.
Amen.
I'm surprised
Amen.
you're not on the back nine somewhere.
Can't wait.
Well, I was on the front nine about an hour ago.
How did we hit him, Merrill? Did we hit him straight today? How do we do?
Straight. I am very, very straight, but I can hear it land.
Straight, but not far. Hey, you'll take something. It's not bad. It could be worse, right? At least you're staying straight.
Oh, I'm okay. I can play.
Right.
I never had a chance to ask you, what is your handicap?
It's it generally runs between 12 and 14.
Okay.
All right. Not bad.
Nice.
Merrill,
Okay.
let's talk about it because we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'm curious because I know you called the large bulk of his games here, but your good friend Dick Vermeil going into the Hall of Fame this weekend in Canton, and after a long journey, that's for sure. Just give us your impressions. You saw him as a broadcaster. You were around him quite a bit as well. You saw him, as a Ram and chief coach as well. What does this mean for you? And seeing that guy go in, and how big a thrill is that?
I'm so happy. I've been around a lot of very, very good coaches, but in my experience, he's the best. He's the guy who has more charisma than any head coach I've ever been around. There have been some really good head coaches. Andy Reid did a great job here for 14 years. But to me, there was something so special about Dick Vermeil. A very, very unusual man, a great communicator, somebody who this city fell in love with, and somebody who I am glad came back here to nest after all was said and done. So I'm thrilled for Dick Vermeil.
Yeah.
Merrill, are you surprised he got in? You surprised he got in considering he had that 14-year gap where he didn't coach?
Yeah, but then he came back after that 14 years and won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
In St. Louis. And then he did good things in Kansas City. He's been great wherever he's been. And he is so special, Derek. I just had no doubt that he would get in. It was only a question of when.
Merrill, let's dive into this year's squad. A lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation. The bar's been set high because of what they did last year and added some really good players. I mean, you look back at this offseason, Merrill. I mean, they get A.J. Brown, they get Hassan Reddick, and I'm just to name a few, James Bradbury. The fans are really, really looking forward to this season. What are your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it too. I am. I think they're a team that has filled a lot of needs on this roster. I think they should be good. I don't go by what I see at training camp every day. For one thing, I'm busy looking at guys and identifying them, going through the mental aspects of play-by-play. But if somebody drops a pass or somebody throws an interception, it doesn't mean that much to me because I've seen great things happen on the practice field and not translate to the game and vice versa. Yep. So I'll make more realistic opinions next week when we see them against the Lions. But again, and I know that the regulars aren't going to play very much. I just hope, and this is just my hope, and it's probably going to be unfulfilled. I'd like to see Jalen Hurts play a full quarter in a couple of preseason games to acquire the timing that he needs with A.J. Brown, the other receivers, and just a feel for the offense. I mean, last year, I watch every NFL game on during the preseason, and actually for the regular season. If I'm home and there's a game on, I'm watching it. But last summer, I looked at Aaron Rodgers playing a half a game in the preseason. I saw I saw so many guys. Josh Allen played a couple of games where he spent almost a half on the field. I think Jalen Hurts needs it. And I know about the injury risk, but I think if you were to tell Jalen Hurts to go out there for a quarter and to not run the football under any situation, and if the rush is coming, throw it away. Just have him play a very safe, kind of preseason game, I think you could benefit from it.
Mm.
Let me ask you this, Merrill. One of the people on the stream want to say, when the Eagles had no expectation, they usually go in and have a great season, a la the 2017 season. The next year, they had expectation. They played less than what they thought they were going to play. With the high expectation going into this year, do you see this team, kind of falling short, or is Nick Sirianni the type of coach now that for what you've seen, able to get these guys going in the right direction?
Well, they like him, Barrett. They like him a lot. They respond to him. They play hard for him. And I think that he himself is growing. This is his second year as an NFL head coach. So there's a growth period for him and the staff also. But I don't think that will hold them back. I don't. And I don't think expectations have anything to do with it. I mean, you look at that next year, they went back to the playoffs. They won the double doink game in Chicago. They could have won again. They had the game that was unfortunate in New Orleans, where they were probably a reception or so away from beating the Saints. So a lot of things can happen. I don't think the expectations of the media, the expectations of the fans have that much to do with what really happens. Most of the time, expectations are high in August. And many times those expectations fall by the end of September. You know what?
Merrill, I think there we go. Got you back.
You mentioned 2017. That team started off so-so with a win and a loss. And in those first few weeks, they lost a lot of people. They lost Jason Peters. They lost Jordan Hicks, their best linebacker. They lost Chris Maragos, the Ghost, their best
special team. Yep.
They lost Caleb Sturgis, their kicker. So they end up plucking Jake Elliott off of the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. And then the next week they come back and they have a lead, then they lose a lead, and they're about to go down to the Giants. And Alshon Jeffrey sets them up. Jeffrey makes a 17-yard reception with 1 second left, and Elliott boots a 61-yard field goal, and the whole season turns around. That whole season turned around on that one kick. And it was amazing the way that team suddenly came to life. So who knows what can motivate a team? Who knows what is going to change this season for better or for worse? The one thing I always warn people when they say this is such a good season, a good team, is that the NFL is a war of attrition. And there are people who go down each and every week. I'd have a much better idea of telling you what this team is going to be like if somebody can tell me the respective lineups of the Eagles and the Cowboys on December 24th. Then we have a good idea of who's standing and how things are going. But there's so many unknowns. There's the bounces of the ball. There's a bad call here and there. There are so many things that can happen. You can take a team that could potentially be 11-6. You take a team that could be 11-6, and you remove the wrong three pieces, and they could just as easily be 8-9.
Hey, Merrill, which position group will you be watching the closest to see how it unfolds in terms of who stays and who goes?
In terms, as far as the cuts are concerned, wide receiver.
Yep,
wide receiver. I think very competitive. I don't know. They've said good things about Jalen Reagor lately, and he's had a pretty good camp. If that means anything, I thought he would be on his way, and I think that he would probably be better off on his way because. The fans are tough on him. They've been frustrated by a first-round draft choice who hasn't played like a first-round draft choice, and all he has to do is make one mistake, and they're booing him. I think he needs a fresh start someplace else, and I think he could be a pretty good receiver, but I don't think the place for him. And when I look at this roster, and I see the biggest addition, when I say A.J. Brown, who I think is going to have a tremendous impact on this team, and Devontae Smith, who is outstanding, and then you have the speed in Quez Watkins, and you have Zach here, and does Greg Ward make the team? I don't know. And good little receiver who catches everything and gets open.
That's right.
And there's another guy I can't wait to see next week, and he's a guy that kept me up late on Saturday nights when Utah played, by the name of Britton Covey. He could be an X factor because he is such an explosive return man. Scored 2 touchdowns against Ohio State. He would do something every game. Now he's 26 years old, and he's about my size, and but he's also listed as a wide receiver, and he's a pretty good option in training camp. Every day he makes a couple of good catches. So where are you going to narrow this down to 5? Are you going to carry 6 wide receivers? That seems heavy to me.
Yeah, agreed, Merrill. So Merrill, I know you're at practice every day, but what's the off-season approach? I'm curious for you. I mean, obviously you've been doing it for a long time, but do you watch film? Do you just get away from it? Do you relax? What are the summer and the off months entail before we get it cranked up a week from today?
Well, I always relax. I always play my share of golf, probably more than my share of golf. But at the same time, I do prepare for the season. I sit here with cards of numbers.
Unbelievable.
Cindy will start calling out numbers and start yelling things back. Like, when she yells out 35, I'll start yelling out there's a wide receiver, Zonovan Knight, for the New York Jets. So I'll start learning all of that stuff. So but it will begin next week. But I pay a lot of attention to the draft, and I get as much information as I possibly can. Tell you guys something funny. Every year I go, and I know we can use the computer for certain things, and I do. I'm computer savvy. I mean, I can't make magical things happen like my son. But I can email and I can text and do all of that stuff, Google. But one of the things I do, I go into a bookstore. I went into Barnes & Noble last week, and I like to get a couple of the preseason football magazines, so that and much of the information in there is put in there by beat writers who they freelance. And so I want to find out stuff about the New York Jets for next week. More about last season, what their expectations are, who to watch in the Jets camp, go over their draft picks, who's on the hot seat, so to speak. That's why I love the preseason football previews. So I went to Barnes & Noble last week, and they had a separate stand for football magazines. And there were 7 football magazines out there, 7 of them. All of them were fantasy. They were all fantasy football magazines, for which I have no use. I mean, it's great to compare the roster, but they don't give the rosters. They don't tell you much about last season. It's all these ratings, who to draft in your fantasy draft. And I understand the fascination with that. And I mean, my son loves fantasy football, and so does America. Mm-hmm. And I understand the gambling aspect of this game and what goes into it. But I still want to know about the game. Mm-hmm. And finally, I went online and found that I was able to order a football preview. But it's a thing of the past.
Barrett, you're muted. You're muted.
That's tough because I do the same thing for my college football when I'm trying to look up players and trying to figure out, you don't have it anymore.
Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, no question. Merrill, so let's look at the other side of the ball. Jonathan Gannon is a guy who was sought after, had a couple interviews in the offseason. He too, given guys like Hassan Reddick and James Bradbury, they draft Jordan Davis, they draft Nakobe Dean. That was a defense that was stable, I guess, last year, but wasn't one that was all that effective in terms of a pass rush, turnovers, giving the offense the ball in short field positions. What are your expectations of the defense?
I think they're going to be very, very good. I really do. I think Jonathan Gannon is a very bright coach, extremely bright. If this team makes the playoffs, he's gone. This team makes the playoffs, he's a head coach someplace next year. He came close in Houston and Denver, and I think he's on the verge. But he's a very bright 39-year-old coach who's been in the league for 15 years. He's got 15 years of coaching experience. He knows what he's doing. I know the fans got on him and the talk shows got on him last year because he was very conservative, but he had to be. He didn't have all the pieces. He had to play with what he had. Now you add James Bradbury, so you have two fine corners with Bradbury on one side, and I mean, look what you have now. You have linebackers. Linebacker might be for this team. And it hasn't been a long time, but when you have Bradbury and Slay, and then you add Kazir White, and you add somebody like the Kobe Dean. The Kobe Dean is so smart. I mean, he grasped this offense. He learned this offense in about an hour. That's how bright former engineering major is. He's really a bright young man. I love Jordan Davis. I mean, I think Jordan Davis is going to make everybody else on that defensive line better. I wouldn't be surprised. And Fletcher Cox has been criticized over the last year or so because his play is not what it was when he was the best defensive tackle or one of the best defensive tackles in the league. But I think when he's going to be rested and he plays in certain spots, you put him in there, there's nothing he can't do. And Hargrave, and you have Brandon Graham, who's 100% right now. He came back. He's been healthy for months. I always was told that an Achilles tendon tear took a year and a half, but I saw him in March on the golf course, and he was fine.
Yep.
So I think he'll help. Josh Sweat, he's something. Hassan Reddick is going to be a big addition as an edge rusher, as a linebacker. But I think this defense is loaded. I really do. I think the single best department, or today they call them the room on a team, is your offensive line. I think the offensive line, I don't think there's a better one in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's got pros and some ascending players, but three legitimate all pros on that defensive line in Kelsey, Mailata, and Lane Johnson. Mm-hmm. So then you add the guards. Landon Dickerson looks like he could be an all pro, and Ciamalo is a good football player. That's a great offensive line. Yeah. But this defensive line could be pretty good too. And the defensive line, if it gets the pressure, will make the rest of that defense that much better, and then they can just tee off on quarterbacks.
We need that pass rush.
In
the worst way.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, no question about that.
Your overall sense on run-pass ratio, what would be the best run-pass ratio, considering the fact that I think that, Jalen Hurts is going to play well. The offensive line able to run block and pass block. The new addition of A.J. Brown. What would you say is the healthiest percentage rate of run-to-pass ratio for this team in order to be successful?
Well, I'll tell you what. Barrett. If this team is playing really well and starts winning games, it's going to be a run-heavy, run-pass ratio and that won't tell the story. Because what they want to do is build a lead, and then late in the game they start handing the football off. Mm-hmm. But I still think I think they're going to throw more than they did last year. Last year the passing game was stuttering a little bit, and they decided we'll play a low risk, give the football off type of offense. This year I think they'll be more balanced, and I think you'll see more passing early. But if they build a lead, then they'll give it to Miles, or they'll give it to Boston Scott, or they'll give it to Kenneth Gainwell, but they'll pound away. They will. But what the stat sheet will show that they've run as much or more than they've passed. but statistically, it doesn't tell the story because when they were building that lead, they were throwing with success.
Yeah.
Hey, Merrill, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's still a passing lead.
We've had a lot of football people on this show the last couple of weeks, and I have to ask you as well, because you've covered this team for so long. You know the inner working mechanisms of what they think and how they do things. What's your perspective on Miles Sanders being with this team beyond this season, based on how they view the running back position?
I think it depends on this season. If he has a big year, let's say he gains 1,200 yards plus and catches the ball well, I think they'll re-sign him. I don't hate because he's still young, and because he's a really good guy. Everybody likes him. He's uplifting. He represents the franchise well. I don't think he's in the category of, say, of Zach Ertz, who had been here for so long, approaching 30. I mean, he'll still be a young running back. Now, the big thing about Miles brings me back to my old buddy Ryan adage, when Buddy said durability is as important as ability. And then he has not been durable. He's had a lot of nicks and bruises that have kept him out of games. But he's got to play 14 games this year. And if he plays well, I think they've got to think long and hard about extending his contract and keeping him here.
Merrill, you are the best, man. We cannot wait for yet another season with yourself and Mike Quick. It is a pleasure to listen to you guys, and always fun talking some football with you before the season gets started. So, Merrill, thanks for a couple minutes, man. Enjoy.
Thank you, Merrill.
Back at it in a week, man. Can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's great to see you guys. I enjoy listening to all of you, and I respect all of your opinions and all of your knowledge. So thank you for having me on. It's my pleasure. And now I can go back on the golf course. No.
There you go.
You got it.
There you go.
Always fun, man. And Merrill can play. Merrill can play. Yeah.
But tonight, I am going to go to Citizens Bank Park because they are honoring my dear friend Dan Baker on 50 years as the public address announcer, and I'm very, very honored to be there as one of his guests.
And a nicer human being you will never meet than Dan Baker.
Wonderful.
That's right.
The nice. Merrill, I'm sorry. Let me just hit one thing with you before we go. Having done what you've done as long as you have, we just recently lost Vince Scully, one of the all-timers. And in addition, I mean, he worked solo. He did simulcast TV and radio, 67 years with the Dodgers. Just give me your thoughts on Vince Scully.
Absolutely wonderful. I'm sorry that I was unable to hear him more than I heard him, because he was a Dodgers announcer, but I heard him doing golf and I heard him doing football and I heard him on the network stuff that he did. But my son, who's out in California and has been there for the last 20 years, he used to just pick up the phone and call me and say, "Dad, listen to Vince Scully." He's great. And I did a book a number of years ago called Sportscasting, Turning Your Passion into a Profession. And to do the various chapters, I interviewed different people about their sports. And I did the last interview anybody ever did with Harry Callis at the Newtown Grill about a month before he passed away. And I talked to him about baseball and all the different aspects about his career and his philosophy of what you do in the course of a game to be sharp and to be interesting. And as we wrapped up the interview, I said, "Harry, you are the absolute best." And Harry turned to me and he said, "I appreciate that." He said, "But Vince Scully is the best. Vince Scully is the best who ever lived." So when Harry Callis can say Vince Scully is the best who ever lived, that just tells you how great Vince Scully really was.
Yep.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, Merrill. Perfect. Perfect. We appreciate your time today, Merrill. Have fun on the course. Enjoy your weekend, and thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Merrill.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Merrill. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But yeah, that is high praise. That is high praise for sure. coming from Harry Callis, who was in his own right just flat out incredible. All right, so let's come back, guys, and we'll get to some of the football stuff that we didn't touch on yet, and we'll dig into some other things, our usual, the birthdays and all the good stuff. What's the matter?
No, because you said the football stuff we didn't get to because we're talking about Animal Kingdom. Still can't get over that. Embarrassing. I'm going to whoop a monkey's ass.
That's a shirt we got to get, man. I'm going to whoop a monkey's ass. That's the best. Oh, my God. Who knows what's going to happen.
Don't forget, we got to do the helmets. We still have the NFC helmets.
We'll do helmets. We'll do games. Maybe we'll hold free agents till Monday. I don't know what we're going to do. We got a lot in store. Don't go anywhere. You know what? You never know what you're going to get. Barrett, Derek, Rob, we are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Right back.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit. The glass is for cocktails, right?
It's for this, this, and that.
Is the length of the glass equal to your...
You betcha.
But is it made out of...
Glass?
Okay, but is the rip...
Smooth?
Will you stop doing...
That?
I'm the professional here.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. All from the company that's highly awarded. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and deliciously tasting vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Segment of the program of the week. Thanks for being with us. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network on this August 5th, 2022. Derek, Barrett, and Rob. All right. How much did you guys watch last night of the preseason game? So I watched the Phillies game went into a rain delay, and then I devoted all my attention to it because the NFL game got delayed a little bit too.
Yeah, it did.
I was on it really until about late fourth, and then I was just kind of like dozing off in bed.
You are a trooper, bro.
I mean, I can't say Barrett. I wasn't like locked in, but I had it on. Let me put it to you that way.
Right, I was the same way. I looked for a second. I mean, I started the first quarter looking, and it just I love football, but that was unenthusiastic if you were from a defense from an offensive standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the one thing
Jarrett Stidham and Nick
Yeah.
Mullins and just a bunch of guys out there playing.
the one thing that really stood out to me is Josh McDaniels' team is farther ahead along than Doug Peterson's team from the
question.
play,
Yeah.
because the Raiders were moving up and down the field on that Jacksonville defense, and Jacksonville couldn't do much of anything.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming it was based on the fact that supposedly Doug and Josh had an agreement they were to keep it vanilla, and all of a sudden Josh comes out of the gate running all kinds of stuff, and Doug's saying to go,
bombs.
"What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Doug was thrilled, but it is what it is. I guess you deal with it. But yeah, it was kind of what you thought it was going to be, though. I mean,
Yeah.
but Josh Jacobs, I mean, I think he played like maybe at least the first 2 series, if not more.
Right.
And he's in. They did not pick up his 5th-year option, so he's in the last year of his deal. So he's got some stuff to prove there in Vegas, and he looked good. But he was going against 2. Although I will say Trayvon Walker got a sack and start at the game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
So-
did. Oh,
Everything we thought he was going to be.
he also got a bogus penalty early on for a roughing the passer.
Yeah,
That
he
was
didn't
the
do
dumbest
anything.
penalty. All he did, I thought initially he grabbed him by the face mask. He didn't. He threw him down on the ground. He shed a block, went over a block and threw him down on the ground just as he released the ball. It wasn't like 2 or 3 seconds later. I mean, here it is, the first preseason game, and the refs are getting it wrong right out of the gate.
I know. I can only imagine what the regular season is going to look like if we're
Exactly.
going over the top of a preseason game. My God, man. Yeah. So look, generally, I just love that it's back. Was it all that enthralling?
Right.
Not really, but it was nice to have it back.
Just to have it back
Absolutely.
was good with me.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
cool with that.
I'm with you. All right, let's do this. We had a little fun yesterday with helmets. Okay, we dug through the best helmets, the coolest helmets in each division in the AFC. We're going to do the NFC. We'll save the East for last. We'll do the NFC today. Let's go. Let's work our way from. Let's go north. Okay, north is Derek and his brother Marvin's division with the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears.
This might be the
Lions.
ugliest helmets in all of NFL.
Not a fan. This is like
I would say 3 of the 4 are definitely the ugliest helmets. 3 of the 4.
So I went Packers, Bears, Vikings, Lions, and really liking none of them, to be honest with you.
Right.
That was my order.
I went Bears, Packers, Vikings, Lions.
Yeah.
I like the bear. I just like the dark with that C on it. I like that when they put the bear on it. To me, I like that.
I went Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears. I don't like
Lions too.
Yeah, I like that Lions emblem on there, and I like the color scheme, that gray with that blue. I like that. The Vikings, they suck, but that's another story. That purple, and then the Bears. The Bears, it's not that the Bears I don't like it. It's just that I like the other 3 better than the Bears.
Yeah,
plain and simple.
And Packers traditional, kind of look that they have.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the Packers logo is a symbol of excellence in the history of pro football. I mean, let's face it. No other team has won more championships in the NFL than Green Bay. I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there.
And who was the only team
Super Bowls,
to beat
though?
Vince Lombardi in the postseason?
The Eagles.
Thank you.
The 1960 Eagles. Yes.
That's all
I'll give you that. Okay.
I don't have anything else.
What else you got, Rob?
That's it. I needed science something at least. That was it. It was pretty weak. I actually like this division a lot overall. The South. I went Panthers
from the new helmets, though, right?
Huh?
With the new helmets, Panthers.
Well, I don't mind their old ones.
Yeah, I'm not talking. We're talking about. We're not talking about the alternate helmets. We're talking about
just regular. Okay.
Every game helmet. Yeah.
I like their color scheme. I like the Panthers in general. So I like Panthers, Saints, Bucks, Falcons is the order that I went.
Wow.
That's tough.
This is the toughest division to pick.
I agree.
I'll go Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Panthers, then Saints.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
You like the Falcons, huh?
I do. I like the way the Falcons look. I like the color scheme and everything.
I go Saints, Tampa. Wow. Falcons, Carolina, and I like all 4. I mean, it's hard.
I like the Saints symbol, the crest. What is it? Crest or crescent, whatever it is. I like that.
And that color scheme. What is that? That not gold. Well, Tampa Bay has the pewter the pewter and red. I don't know what you call Tampa Bay. I mean, New Orleans color.
Gold and black. I don't know what
yeah.
form of gold it is though. But yeah, I you know what? I actually like the Tampa. I don't mind the Tampa Bay uniforms now. I didn't like the
flag,
old cream
right.
ones.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, that was a little that pirate that with the knife in his mouth.
Yeah, I got my first game. The first game I got BYU at South Florida. And they play inside that stadium, so I can't wait to see the captain.
Oh, well, you're at Tampa, okay?
Yeah,
nice.
We're at Tampa.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
So
okay.
They're playing inside that stadium. That's gonna be pretty cool.
That's very cool. That's a great play. I love that part of Florida too.
Man, I love just laying on the grass out there, man. It's better than the golf course, man.
Yeah,
when you go out there and play.
That's awesome. All right, so let's go west. Why don't you guys jump on one first, then we'll go.
All right. Well, I would go the Rams first. I really like the Rams. I like the color scheme. Then I go Seattle, San Fran, and then I go Cardinals.
Okay. Do you like the Rams' new uniforms? The new look scheme.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about you?
The white with the white. I mean the white.
I kind of like.
Yeah.
It's like sort of off-white a little.
Yep.
You notice that it's not quite white. They're the home uniforms or whatever. I guess whenever they wear the lighter ones. Go ahead, Derek.
I go Seattle first. I just love their color scheme with that blue and that green.
That is nice too. Yeah,
yep.
That's hot. I love that. I love the Rams second because of the tradition. They've gone from blue and yellow, blue and white, back to blue and yellow. But I just love their logo on the helmet. 49ers are third. In Arizona, I think their helmet looks a little too plain.
Yep.
It's just a white helmet with an emblem stick in there. If they had maybe put the stripe down the middle or something of their color scheme, maybe I would like it a little bit more. I just think Arizona's helmet is just a little too plain for me.
I would have liked when Arizona, we're going back a long time ago, mind you, but when they moved from St. Louis, like to me, change it up. They kept that St. Louis that should belong there. I didn't like that. I would like for them to change it up. So that I penalize them. I make them last because of that. I don't love the 49ers. It's okay. Yeah. I like the Rams and the Seahawks better. I would probably, it's a toss-up for me. I'd probably go Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals.
Okay.
Yep. Same with me. Yep.
Would be my order. With Cardinals definitely last. All right, let's go east. Giants, Eagles, Washington, and the Cowboys. Who wants first crack? How about you, Gunner?
I'll go first, and I think it's easy. The Eagles, I love the helmet color. I love the wings on there. I just love, everything about the color scheme and the way they designed it. Second is tough because I hate all three.
They're so ugly, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what is Washington. The new helmet looks. Is it just the numbers on the helmet?
It's a W
or the W
too.
Okay,
and I saw something where there's a W in the front. Did you guys see this?
I didn't see that one. Yeah,
like above the face mask, like say like here, there's like a W. I don't know. It's a yeah. I think they're gonna have alternate jerseys too.
Well, with that said, then I like because Washington has changed its scheme a little bit. I'm gonna go Giants second, Washington third, and Dallas fourth.
All right, Barrett, how about you?
I'm gonna go Eagles, then I go Washington, then I go Giants, then just because I have to pick the last one, I go Dallas. I can't stand Dallas, man.
Yeah.
I don't like anything about the jerseys. I don't like the new ones. I don't like the old ones. I don't like any of them.
Yeah. I'm gonna sound like a homer here, but I would go Eagles.
Yep.
I'd go Giants. Washington, I just don't know what it is, and I need to get used to whatever it's going to be before I can really
exactly.
get a judgment on it. And if you think the Cowboys weren't going to be last, then you were, I got some swampland in Jersey, I could tell you. They were going to be last no matter what on any list that I've ever given you. So it's Dallas by a mile last. So that's it for that. All right, let me give you these games for week 2, guys, because they're pretty ridiculous. Starting Thursday night. The Thursday night game, week 2, is the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Great game.
Yep. So if you're not familiar, yesterday we went through the big games in week 1 where we're going to work our way up till there actually is a week 1 with the different weeks and highlight the better games. So yeah, Chargers Chiefs for Thursday night. Dolphins Ravens, I think, is an interesting game. I don't know if it's a barn burner, but I think it's a interesting AFC matchup right there to gauge both of those teams. So I put that one in there. How about this one? Bengals Cowboys.
Woo! At Dallas. Woo!
Very good.
Very, very good.
Wow.
A good. It's NFC AFC, but it's a good West matchup here. We have the Cardinals and the Raiders game at Vegas. Pretty good game.
That's going to be a hot game.
Yeah, it is.
That's going to be a barn burner, man. Oh my goodness.
Monday night is a killer. You have the early game, the Titans and the Bills, and the late game is the Eagles and the Vikings. So
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, right there. There's 6 games out of the chute that are really, really good. And
you left one. Did I miss? You missed Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Big division matchup.
You're right. That's a great one
too. It's gonna be a huge matchup.
That's a great one too. Yeah, that's 7. I mean, and yeah, you're right. A really good division early. Yeah, I'm liking that too. So that's what we have to look forward to every week. There, I went through the schedule, man. Every week there's some killers. And
how about this one, Rob? Miami at Baltimore.
That we mentioned that one.
You did.
The first one off the top. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a good. What I want to see there is, I don't have confidence in Tua, but I want to see. We had Baldy on, and he went so over, and you love him too, Barrett. So the Mike McDaniel coaching thing, I just want to see what that looks like with him and how he best utilizes Tua, because there's some weapons there, man, with Waddle and Tyreek to just to name a few. So they're going to be interesting to watch. That's for sure.
I think they got Mostert playing running back for them also.
Yeah. Yep. They sure do.
Their defense is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, their defense is going to be really good. So there was that. Chris Godwin practiced. Did you guys see this? He practiced today.
Good.
He's back.
Yeah, he had pads. Yeah, he has pads on. He still looked a little gimpy, coming off the line. And it's just his straight line is good, but I don't know. They didn't show him any misdirection or anything, or try him, moving in another direction. It was mostly just straight line stuff, but him being back is immensely great for Brady. You know what I mean?
Yeah, huge. Good to see him coming back too. He's a hell of a player. All right, Derek, you mentioned this during our pre-show meeting, and it wasn't even on my radar, man. Some of the big name guys who are not signed right now, who are just out there in the NFL, and it's a who's who, man, especially at the receiver spot.
Like I said off the top of the show, I went to Spot Track because Spot Track is so good at keeping you up to the minute in terms of who's signed and who not signed. And the first thing that caught my eye was, according to Spot Track, there's still 791 free agents out there in the NFL. 791 potential free agents out there. Then you start looking at some of the names, and the first name that jumped to me was Cam Newton. Okay, he's 33 years old, but you mean tell me that with the deficiency at quarterback in the National Football League, Cam Newton can't make somebody's roster? Really?
Yeah. The only way I would is if he flat out told somebody he didn't want to be a backup, but I haven't heard that he's doing that.
I haven't either.
Yeah, that's definitely one for sure.
But
another guy that I'm looking at. Yeah, I don't understand it. Especially with how hard it is to bring tackles and backside tackles. Dwayne Brown still isn't signed.
Yes.
Huh.
He was in Seattle for all that, for a couple of years, but he's still a dominant offensive tackle. He's low. He's old. He's real old.
He's been around.
He's 37 years old, but he says he still wants to play.
Okay.
How about J.C. Tretter? J.C. Tretter was one of the better centers in the NFL.
Yep.
He's only 31 years old, and Cleveland let him go, so he's still sitting out there. This list is incredible. Here's a question. And will Antonio Brown ever play in the NFL again? Now, Antonio Brown probably still one of the fastest receivers in the game. But will he ever play in the NFL after the way he exited Tampa Bay and embarrassed himself on national TV?
Nope.
I don't think so. You quit on your team like that in mid-game, and a team that went bent over backwards to help you, and then he badmouthed Brady and Arians and everybody out the door.
Yep.
I don't think so. I think teams have finally gotten to the point where he's not worth the aggravation.
Yeah, he's trying to be a rapper now, and I'm thinking, dude, that's not where your money was.
You already know, man. Yeah. I mean, I watched him on the that podcast called The Pivot, and he tried to legitimize everything he was saying, and everybody was looking at him like, "Yeah, all right, bro, you messed that up, bro.
Yeah,
you messed it up." And then they got into a conversation about him and what's his name played together. safety. What's his name?
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark. Yeah, Ryan Clark played with him.
At Pittsburgh.
He was like, you my dude, man. But at the end of the day, man, you was tripping, and you was tripping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to have that much talent, man, it's got to be some, mental issues that he just doesn't want to face.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think that plays a part.
Here's two. Both played with Buffalo last year. Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley. Emmanuel Sanders is 35. Cole Beasley is 33. At the age of 35 last year, Emmanuel Sanders still averaged 15 yards a catch. You mean to tell me there's not a team that can use him? Cole Beasley is one of the shiftiest receivers that ever played the slot position.
He didn't want to get vaccinated. He didn't want to get vaccinated. He became a problem later on in the season.
But with the vaccination rules loosened up now, you wouldn't want him in your slot.
Right.
He does nothing but get open.
Yep.
Yeah, I think both of those guys will be with someone soon. Somebody goes down, they're too good to not.
Now
Yeah, go ahead, Barry.
A guy that I think he kind of lost it since Watson left, and he left Watson is Will Fuller. I don't think he's just lost all of it, man. I think he was a second-round pick.
He's only 28 years old.
Yeah,
right.
He's just been hurt all the time in his career. I mean, he's a burner. He reminds me. He hasn't been anywhere near as accomplished, but he reminds me of Deshaun Jackson because he's great at tracking a deep ball.
Yep.
But he just can't stay healthy. That's a shame. He's a local guy, Philly kid.
I didn't know that.
Roman Catholic, right?
Yep.
What about T.Y. Hilton?
I'm shocked he's not in the league. I can't believe it.
How's that possible?
I'm going to look up his numbers last year. I thought they were pretty decent.
He had 10 games, 23 catches, 333 yards, 14.4 yards per catch, 3 touchdowns. Not great, but still, he can fly. He's a speedster.
Is this are teams really this cap cheap that they don't want to pay vets this kind of money?
I don't know.
Yeah,
they'd rather pay rookies.
I don't know.
You're talking about Sheldon Richardson. Sheldon Richardson been a really good tackle for the past 4 or 5 years. Wherever he's been a starter and kind of solidified things. He's still, a young guy. He's 31 years old. It's relatively young, but a guy that really, I'm really captivated by it. I don't understand, especially when it's so hard to find corners out there.
Exactly.
It's Kevin King. How is he now? He's only 27 years old.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe there's bad medicals on these guys.
Janoris Jenkins. Look at Janoris Jenkins is still sitting out there.
See, yes. Started last year.
Yes.
With the Saints, yeah.
And is a good cover guy. He's not the greatest tackler in the world. Good cover guy. He's still sitting out there.
Yeah.
You mean tell me he can't help teams like Houston, Jacksonville? Are you kidding me?
100%.
What about Nate Solder? Pro Bowl offensive lineman.
Yep.
He's still the Giants cut him. He's looking for work now.
Look, Eric Fisher too.
Eric Fisher.
Yeah, jeez, man. Talk about a high pick.
Go ahead.
Soldier got paid in New York and was never the same, but I wonder if that system wasn't good for him. I'm surprised he wouldn't end up back in New England. If that didn't end poorly, he goes back to New England maybe in some capacity or as
right.
Knows that system.
What
he
about
stole
this
for a long time in
New York?
Yeah.
Well, what about this guy who was a former first-round pick, Star Latulele? He's a beast at D tackle.
Yeah.
He's only 32 years old. He's out of the league. He's looking for a job now.
There's a lot of good players out there, man.
And Ndamukong Suh.
Yes. D Ford. How about D Ford?
Yeah.
D Ford is a heck of a linebacker.
Absolutely.
But here's Devonta Freeman, Latavius Murray. Now, both of them were in Baltimore last year out of necessity. Devonta Freeman's 30 years old, Murray 32. Murray averaged 4.2 yards per carry. Freeman averaged 4.3.
Right.
Murray has 6 rushing touchdowns. Freeman had 5 rushing touchdowns. You mean to tell me they can't help somebody's backfield?
Yeah, the yards per carry is still good. You're over 4. I mean, that's still pretty good.
Really? You can't. It just blows me away. Now, I think some of these guys will be signed for like 1-year deal, close to league minimum, maybe some incentives as it gets closer to the regular season. But the fact that they're still sitting out there looking for work, they're proven commodities across the board in the league, and they're not in work right now.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
surprising.
me?
It's surprising, man.
Well, I mean, if you make it the open today roster, then your contract is guaranteed as a
right.
Right. So after the first, week, a lot of these guys will be signed just so their contracts aren't guaranteed later on in the season.
Interesting.
So that happens a lot. That happens a whole lot. So,
all right, let's sneak in here some birthdays. Like we usually do.
Birthdays was the worst days.
Biggie. Adam Yao, MCA, for a rest in peace from Beastie Boys, would have been 58 today. He passed away in 2012. He's been gone for 10 years. Died at 48, man. That's way too young. Way too young. Neil Armstrong, famous astronaut.
Yeah.
He's passed away. Born in 1930.
One small step for man, one giant step for mankind.
Yep, absolutely.
Before you move on, Neil Armstrong, do you know, what was it, 1985, he was part of a group of explorers that walked the North Pole. And people ask, why would you want to north the North Pole? He said, well, I've seen it for space. I wanted to see it up close and personal.
Oh, wow.
The North Pole? I'm not doing the North Pole. Sorry.
That's cold, boy. That is cold. No thanks.
Yeah.
Lonnie Anderson, WKRP, and Burt Reynolds and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite shows.
77 years old. Yeah, that was a great show. Venus Flytrap, Johnny Fever.
Oh, yeah.
And the crew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you're talking now. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the, nurse secretary. I don't know what she was. But
she was a receptionist.
That's what it was.
Jennifer Marlowe.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to feel old, Marsha Brady's 66.
That's unbelievable.
What?
Yes.
Maureen McCormick is 66. Yeah.
Dude, what a life! What a life she went through after that show. She was on cocaine. She was on heroin. She would basically give her body away for sex to get drugs.
Oh my God.
It was bad. Yeah, she went. Now she's written a book now about what she went through. Her life has turned around for the better. She's doing great now. But dude, after she left that Brady Bunch show, man, she went straight downhill, man. It was bad, dude.
Well, that's because once you get typecast a certain thing, she couldn't get away from being Marsha Brady.
Exactly.
Yep. None of them
couldn't get roles. Yeah,
they weren't. None of those kids were ever able to get a role after that show. Jesse Williams, actor, Grey's Anatomy, 42 years old. He's a Temple graduate, by the way.
Oh, is he? You worked it in again.
Herb Brooks of the 1980 Olympic team, Miracle movie, passed away, unfortunately, but it's his birthday today. Patrick Ewing is 60, still the head coach of Georgetown. Patrick is. Yeah. Go ahead, Derek. Get other ones. I'm out.
What about, remember this one? Tawny Katane. Remember her?
Oh yes,
man,
White Snake videos.
She was great. Yeah, she was she was an actress, but her claim to fame was being in a lot of heavy metal videos.
Yeah,
and then of course after that, stories started coming about how crazy she was, man. Stuff she was doing, off the chart stuff. Like people thought that she might have to be committed at one point.
She had a lot of problems. She
died at the age of 58, I believe it was.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, she had a rough go.
Yeah, heart disease. Yeah.
Yep. She was married to a baseball pitcher, Chuck Finley.
That's right.
That's right. Steve Finley. Yeah, it was Chuck, whatever it was.
I threw in one, James Gunn. James Gunn, of course.
There you go.
Great writer, director. He did Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad.
He's good. Yeah,
he directed those. Directed all of those, yeah.
I got a movie for you. There weren't many. Risky Business.
Oh, my goodness.
Tom Cruise.
Great movie.
Yeah, he's young in that, man. That's an older one right there. Tom Cruise in Risky Business. All right, so let's see. Do we need to wrap this thing? No, we're good.
The Dukes of Hazzard's remake with Jessica Simpson.
Yes.
Look at Rob's face. I was like,
yes. The car washing scene is
epic.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
Just doing everybody a favor if you want to check it out. That's all. Well, let's leave it at that. All right. So it's been a fascinating day. We're gonna wrap. We get the National Football Show with Dan Cilio coming up. Been a fun week, and thanks to everybody in the chat section. You guys have been awesome. Thanks to everybody viewing, everybody streaming, And of course, our producer, Xander Kraus. Excellent job. We may have Dick Vermeil on Monday. We might
Monday or Tuesday.
We'll have some surprises for you next week.
And
But
check out what my brother did to me on Facebook with his Vikings contingent.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
All right, got to check that out. That is Marvin Gunn. We thanked Marvin for
how many
for
likes? How many did we get?
You're safe. We didn't get that.
Are you serious?
No Phillip Brooks. Yeah, we got to go. Yeah.
What did we end up with? How many likes did we end up with? Are you serious?
Not enough. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes.
I wanted to hear the loose cannon.
Yeah. Well, I'll still try to get him on, man. We'll see if.
All right. We may have a Phillip Brooks appearance next week. We were over 100, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So
I have my Auntie Marla. She gonna talk him into it.
Oh God.
If she asks him, he'll do anything for Auntie Marla. So
I got you. All right. Well, listen, everybody. Chris D's headed to Philly from Hawaii. All right, Chris.
Okay. Safe travels.
All right, Chris. Safe travels to you.
Have fun. But everybody in the chat section, you guys are the best. Fun hanging out with everybody, and we'll be back same time on Monday. Like I said, don't go anywhere. National Football Show with Dan Cilio. For Barrett, for Derek, I'm Rob. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We will talk to you Monday.